go for those protests, how do we demobilize the movement of the cops? Those are things now we can be thinking about, but history ya kupiga hii maandamano venye tunaipiga until we get the numbers. And as much as we are doing the civic education, we're also trying to learn about political education and also sharing that. Ongea naye ako on board, anaona yenyewe umedecide kufanya hii kitu. Me have convinced so many people who are so anti this protest, and they are like, enyewe Joe, I don't know where you've gotten this calling and this energy, but I admire it. Na eventually ile siku tutawa need, they'll come. We'll be like, so let's use those 3 strategies. Na saizi hata kwanza to try to create a hashtag of sorts ya kumulika makarao. Let's try and show them just how dismal their lives are, as much as we are fighting for everyone's rights. Tuoneshe mkishinda hapo hivyo mkitupiga, let's take pictures of them being misused. Eventually at some point some sense will check in. Ama mnaonaje? If I have some more ideas, I'll keep on chipping in.
Okay, hiyo idea yako iko fiti, but again kitu nafaa tukumbuke ni ati haifai tu waste time tukifanya hiyo civic education. Tutapea wase chance ya kucounter manzi. Haifai tuwape time mob. Kama saizi inafaa within saizi 9:40. 20 minutes inafaa tuwe tushafika huko. Hakuna time manzi.
Hello guys, I'm saying this, eh? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, I'm saying this as much as Hello, mnanisikia?
Yeah, well,
hello.
Yeah.
I'm saying this, when you take a look at the way the government is dealing with us,
but
yes, I'm saying this.
The point imefika home. The point imefika home. Ideally, we need a strategy. And I don't know if we just doing the meeting. We already have the strategy, but we are lacking some literally. Okay, that like little few things that what
you see, I'm saying this as much maybe you see civic education as much as we are doing it, and I'm also a participant on that. Hata kama the change is not going to be now, at least we have an impact on the society in that you find that kuna more knowledge that iko impacted on more people than kitambo. Right now, I don't think even when we'll be coming to vote, maybe in 2027, the same way people voted, it will be that way. In fact, that tribalism to maybe in a very big match.
But I think civic education we are going to try. It's part of the variables we are going to do. But I'm saying taking the civic education point is a good point. But right now, you see, we can't reach everybody. Really, what you can do, just try post on your Twitter post when you're in a march or with your friends. Tell them, just spread the word. But we can't.
For that one, I'm honestly doing that. You know, it's not that many. Up, I don't have very many followers, but down here, we are forcing it left, right, and center because this guy must go. But we also need to be.
Then let me finish. I'm saying when you're doing a good job, what you'll do is just keep on doing that, and then try speak to more people. This product, the IQ is somewhat small, so once we have been used to take people to do the good stuff, at least try making them like 1,000 bob. I won't help them next maybe 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, sure.
That will be good. And then what I'll say, you need to know something. Power. There's this guy in a first. There's something he said, and it's really powerful. Power is never given back to the people by the oppressor. Power is not oppressor.
Yeah, sure.
When the oppressed, we have to snatch away the power. We are the oppressed. So
Yeah.
power is given by oppressor to the people. Is a tyrant. Now what we have to do as the people, we have big a big decision to make, and the only the decision is going to come in handy if we make it. If we want to do like election, the only thing we have to do is we march, we take it to, okay, that's the end goal. We take it to state house to make sure that the president is down. If he doesn't want to like sign to resign by like goodwill,
Yeah.
then there's another thing to know. For us to make sure that we have the support of the military, we have to be united. We have to move close together. We have to cause havoc in such a way that we are not going to engage with the police. We can't engage with the police. We're supposed to let the military engage with the police. Same thing I saw happen in Nigeria. They are supposed to be told to step down. You see, like soldiers step down because us we don't have like the guns and stuff. So that's a disadvantage. But if we go in numbers, we are going to outdo them. That's an advantage. So we have to take back the power. We have to march from maybe archives, moving forward to that route of Westlands. If we're going to maybe use the Arboretum side, it will be better if we march to the cities today using the Arboretum side. Some of us entering Arboretum, the others from the other side, but we move together in numbers. It will be a strategic move. Myself, I'll be recording from the ground. I just urge you guys to maybe we unite together and then I'll take away the power from the Babylonians. So I'll give a dick pic.
What about a Sunday? What about a
Oh,
Sunday?
can we give sorry,
about-
sorry.
Let him ask the question.
What about a Sunday? Like Sunday, we'll have more people going to church, more people coming from church. Tunaenda hiyo church na saa
But
sita saa saba.
ina depend na watu wanaweza show up. Hiyo inaweza kuwa pia kitu ya siku ingine. Tunajua kama in case tutakuwa tumefulfill. Saa hii we need to know the time wasi wataturn out is when we know if we go this decision is a concrete one or we have to move it your idea. But for now, let's just share the hashtag. We see people are going to turn out. Just turn out. It's better to turn out late than never. Better. The Sunday, if it's that the day for us to maybe to stop the religious stuff that they've been using.
Mazee ukidandiwa mazee kutoka ni Monday.
Unaogopa kushikwa leo. Sasa ndio maana tunasema tuna movie numbers. Kwani uko afraid kushikwa? Mama. That's why we need to know that you have to know what you want if you're going to be here. Like it's that serious.
Guys, turn out leo ikuwe large manze. Hizi vitu zingine inafaa tuongee we are wasting so much.
Hiyo ndio tunaongea saa hii.
Sasa wacha nijitayarisha nijipate huko maafte.
Sasa hiyo ndio moral. So ukianza kuwa moral itakuwa.
Mimi nishamaliza, mimi niko na head tao. Actually nikienda hivyo archives, so like guys, we have to do this today
Onwards. We can't say today or never. It's today onwards. This is what we have to do. So I want to give somebody.
Sawa, tupatane hapo hivyo tao. Mimi nishatoka.
I want another speaker to give their views. We are winding up actually. Tunafaa by 10 tuko hapo hivyo. Watu wa mwisho ni 10:30 tupatane. Tunapatana hapa hivi. Actually hiyo itakuwa
Dick pic na Shipai, they've been waiting for a while.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're audible.
Thanks a lot for this. Kitu moja jana nilikuwa tao by 6:45 but it went how it went. But tuache mambo ya strategy na nini, saa hii ni watu kutokea. Let's all come out. That is it. For now ni kutokea. Me, I'll be in town maybe in the next 45 minutes. So tutajua from there. Let us all meet there. Sina mengi ni hayo.
Boycotting with our strategy ya kwenda street. We don't need a lot to boycott. We don't need to strategize sijui nini. Tunasema tu from today tuna boycott. You guys wenye wanajua hizi businesses zao, traders wetu, come up with a list. Mi kwanza leo ile story ya Safaricom ndo naanza nayo. Mi na withdraw yangu from M-Pesa na naanza kutumia cash. I'm a bank. So I think that's one strategy yenye tunaweza anza nayo.
Hata bank, unabuy crypto, unabuy BTC itakuwa better.
Ndio hiyo sasa tumesikia pia hizo manini ma crypto tunaweza anza nazo. I don't know how we can transact na crypto though on our day to day lives. Huku
What is
kwa,
that? Education, unauza Binance. Ukikuwa na crypto, just have a Binance account, you'll be selling. When you want to sell, kama uko place, you just tell somebody crypto anakupea cash, una receive cash. Sasa lazima utumie mpesa, hiyo ndo shida, we can't transact juu anakutumia mpesa. So ideally inabidi tumepata another way ya kutransact. Hiyo itakuwa for another.
Yeah, I understand. So mi nataka like kitu immediate. Nasema ka sahi as we are going to the streets sahi ama tomorrow we start boycotting. At the same time as we are going to the streets, we make them feel the pain pia. M-Pesa I think ndo ina making a lot of money for Safaricom, see data and credits. So I think we can start na pia boycotting. That was all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We must also be having a strategy. We are dealing with a very small. There was a website here ku impeach MPs. Maybe we can start running for that to do a one by one. They see the seriousness in it before the ABC were constituted fully. I don't know, maybe if we can go with that arrangement. Hey guys, mnanisikia?
Tunakusikia.
Yes, I think we can start with that one. Then moving forward, marching forward, because I know this journey ya kutoa Ruto, it's not something that we are going to achieve instantly. But we see when we move with consistency, I think we are going to achieve something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because
Asante.
if we deal with him too all the time, kuingia na ya maandamano left, right and center. You see yesterday at a town kuingia too, it was just something else because the police kuna something now again they are getting. And also from the side of the law, would like to understand how constitutional is it for the police to be kuvaa a mask or something like that, and also arresting people left, right, and center. I would also like to understand, maybe if there is a lawyer in the house, maybe he can maybe share some insight on that one. Hey guys.
Yeah. Okay, asante. What's her name?
So first nataka congratulate kila mtu mwenye aliweza kutana up yesterday. Haikuwa rahisi, but at least we made an impact. Number one, hatuku lose jana. We actually won. We won big time, ndo maana CBD ilienda at a shutdown. Three points. Na I think I concur with him kwa sababu sana sana kwa ground people need civic education. Na tusiseme hatuna time ya kufunza watu. The more tunasema hatuna time, the more they don't want to listen to us. The more they keep on listening to the government because wanaonyeshwa these people hawana nini. My friend, teach kila mtu mwe unapata mwenye haelewi kitu, try your best, explain to them why we are doing this. Juu siwadanganyi, tukiendelea hivi kama jana, from the list I've seen, kama jana pekee nimeona over 72 people have been arrested, over 70 I mean have been arrested. My friend, tutakujiwa kila mtu wenye tunapostingi hapa, tutakujiwa kwa manyumba na hakuna kitu itafanyika. because at this point hata leo actually mi hata niko ready, nataka kutoka around 10:30. Nimekuwa nikingoja chance kwanza niongee. So kindly I plead with you guys, tuendelee kupigana hivi. All must die. Sitawadanganya. Personally mi nimejitolea mahanga. I'm ready if anything happens, so be it. Si mipango yangu, lakini nawaambia msee, tukiendelea unajua one thing I've realized, tunaogopa kifo more than we fear being oppressed. Na if we go with that mentality, my friend, utakuwa unaenda hapo tiagas moja ikitupu unarudi nyumbani, of which it won't work. It won't work tukiendelea na strategy tunatumia. Pia venye he said we need to stop being predictable. Yeah, because my friend, hata last week we can compare from last week's maandamano and this week's maandamano. No, it was not last week, the other week, the previous maandamano, that is. You can see venye tuliweza kuwacounter hawa watu. They thought tumeenda JKIA. Personally, I was one of the people who went to JKIA, although I had my means of transport. Nilifika JKIA and I stayed there for a while because it was early in the morning. Media wakakuja and then nika realize, wait, there's something going wrong here. My friend, wale watu wa piki, pia watu wenye wanakubali kulipwa, people, mbona mnakubali kubeba ujinga hivyo? Unaekewa mafuta ati unaekewa full tank, unaenda ati ku counter ati protest. My friend, tutadeal na hao watu kwa sababu number one, when I got to CBD, the vibe was ilikuwa tu hivi, lakini venye niliingia huko ndani, my friend, nikapatana na waandamanaji, although they were not part of the real waandamanaji, walikuwa vijana wa marikiti. Since I passed through that road, my friend, nilinyeshewa mamawe and nikashanga what is not happening in town. So I was thinking those guys were being paid no account maandamano, kumbe they thought I was one of the people who were being paid. So my main point is tafadhali, kila mtu mwenye unapata hapa kwa ground mwenye haelewi tu, ndo unajua, the more we convince the elderly people na watu haelewi what we are doing, ndo watataka kutokea na sisi kwa streets. Juna tukiendelea kutokea ati in the name, I agree, this whole revolution has been started by Gen Z, but kufika kwa streets we need to come out all ages. Hata ukuwe miaka ngapi, we need to come, kwa sababu we are all suffering. The government haitachagua ati nitatesa Gen Z, nitatesa we will all suffer under the oppression of this government. So kindly guys, let's teach people, let's make them understand. Na tutok hata saa hizi, my friend, nikitoka kwa hii live, already nishajitayarisha. Mi naelekea town, wenye mtatokea kindly tuendelee kutweet, let's follow each other, ndo tukitweet tunajua tuko hii place, at least hata mtu anaweza join others, ndo kwa sababu pia mtu akiwa peke yake pale town unapata kuna when you are alone hauna hiyo motisha, kwa sababu pia uko na kauoga kidogo, utapata unataka kurudi nyumbani, unataka kufanya nini. So please tusaidiane tu hapa, let's follow each other, tuelimishane hapo nje na we push this thing through. Trust you me, my guys, lazima we will win kama Bangladesh did it. Another venye nawaambia, tusiogope ati let's not fear death and we fear oppression, kwa sababu number one, in Bangladesh one day, the independence day yao, over 60 people died, 14 of them being police officers. My friend, personally nimejitolea, if I die mjue I died for trying to make my country a better place to live and a better place for my kids. Sijui kama mnaweza nisikia still because my mic is acting up, but all in all, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roots. Next ni Beta Kenya.
Hey, sasa Joy,
Fiti, mambo?
mi niko poa. Asante kwa hii opportunity ya kuongea. I'll start with hiyo time ya occupying at JKIA. That time, like when we were to occupy tomorrow, leo, siku kama ya leo tukioccupy kesho, I met some 4 guys. Niko Nakuru mimi. I met some 4 guys walikuwa place yenye nafanyanga kazi. And they were looking for hizi malori zenye zinabebanga mizigo ziwabebe ndio wakuje Nairobi kuoccupy JKIA. And I was very interested in following up on that story. Na wakapata gari na wakakuja mpaka Nairobi. Only for them to get to Nairobi and there was no occupied JKIA. And people are here online saying that they have fooled the police. Oh, mnaona vile tumefanya waweke mapolisi na huko hivyo wamebarricade mabarabara sijui nini nini. People were online laughing, thinking that they had fooled the police, but they had fooled more than the police. They had fooled willing participants wa kuoccupy JKIA. Because when those guys came back to Nakuru, they were really mad. Waliona wamechezwa na wamebeba ufala. Because you see, not everyone is on these spaces. Kuna watu wenye wako tu kwa ground, yani nikienda mahali niseme, by the way, kesho, there's occupy this place. Huyo mtu atachukua hiyo maneno ataenda ipeleke kwa mtu mwingine, because the way things work kwa ground ni different na vile zina work online. Online tunaweza kuja tucheke, we make fun, we make jokes, we make plans that we won't see through, because a lot of people wamekuja huku online wamepiga kelele na hawajatokea kwa ground. Kwa ground ukienda tu, hata maandamano mingi za Raila zinakuanga very successful because they are not online, ziko huko chini kwa watu. Ameenda amechocha watu kwa chini, watu wamesikia, wametokea. But now what happened was, after the JKI thing, it was really hard for people to trust whatever it is that is being said. Let's occupy this, kuna nane. It was really hard for people to trust that it is happening after they showed up to occupy JKIA and it turned out to be a prank. So gaining the people's trust will need for us to get out of social media na tuingie kwa ground. We talk to people, we organize this protest huku kwa ground. Another thing, you cannot be telling your opponent your next move. Hatuwezi kuwa tunacheza kadi na ninakwambia next nataka niangushe 3. Oh, by the way niko na joker but sitaiangusha sasa, nitaiangusha after nimeangusha kadi zingine kama 3. I'm giving you a chance to plan. And that is exactly what we've been doing all this time. Tunataka kupigana na Ruto, but mnataka kumpe hiyo chance ya kujipanga, giving him your next move.
Yes. Good morning.
Mnamwambia oh, kesho tunatokea tunaenda JKIA, ama kesho tunatokea tunakuja State House. How is he going to push back and wait for you people to occupy State House? How? You're giving him the idea of what you're planning. You're supposed to be giving him inaitangwa element of surprise. Mnasema mnakuja online mnapiga kelele mnasema date 9 tunatokea. Date 6 ndio mnatokea. Element of surprise. He was not expecting you kutokea on that 6th. Juu kwa ground mumejipanga umesema tunatokea 6th. Sasa mumepangana mnatokea date 9, date 8 ataenda alipe watu wa kucounter your protest. Ataenda apangane na mapolisi, ataenda aambie polisi tunaongezea mshahara ndio awa motivate the following day watoke. So already you've given him a date, you've given him time to organize his way of defense. So how are you supposed to win that? You cannot win that. Kama sasa mnasema sijui tunapatana archives. Washajua tunapatana archives. How will they let you mpatane archives? How? They can't give you that opportunity. So if you want to win this thing, just stop this whole social media online parading thing. Muache kabisa. And stop comparing yourselves to Bangladesh. You cannot reach the levels the Bangladesh did. Juu one, wao wako wanakuja huku kupiga kelele online. Two, they didn't care about what the other person was saying. Wao walishikana huko chini kwa ground, wakapangana. The prime minister wasn't expecting those numbers juu hawakuwa wana announce we expecting 100 people. They were not announcing anything. They were doing things in secret. Na ndio maandamano zote zenye zimepangwa na Raila, they are always successful. Juu he doesn't announce when it's happening, zinatokeanga tu. He doesn't announce the number of people showing up. He doesn't announce the meeting point. Everything is a secret. And hata government iko tu hawajui where to expect Raila and his people and his goons. Okay, it's always the goons, but they don't know where to expect them. Sasa nyinyi kwanza musha lose trust by the na watu uko chini. Hiyo ni ukweli, sitawadanganya. And it will take a lot of convincing. Juu sasa hii hata mkiongea kitu hapa wanasema sasa wanaongeanga tu online na tukitokea hawako. Hata hiyo archive yenye mnasema watu wakuje, hakuna watu watakuja. Ni nyinyi tu wenye mnasema mtaenda. People won't show up. It's like now you're planning something but you're on your own. People come here online wanapiga kelele sana. Oh yeah, tunatokea. Ukimuuliza akuonyeshe picha yenye alitokea, hakuna picha atakuonyesha. So if you want to do this and you want to win this thing, get off social media. Hata mkikuja kwa social media mnakuja tu kuwa mislead. Not telling them where you will be when you will be. Muingia kwa ground. Make it seem like you're not working. Make it seem like you're not even ready to protest anytime soon. Just muende huko mpike kabisa huko chini. Juu shida moja online, na ndio maana hata watu wanalipwa, ni kwa sababu wanaona nani anapiga kelele sana. Sasa kila mtu akona shida ya do, wacha tumpe. Ananyamaza, wacha tumpe. But when they don't know who is talking, who is making the loudest of the noise, they cannot bribe anyone. So if you want to win this war, mutahave kuingia kwa ground. Muachane na mambo za simu. Muingie huko mpike. Wacha imsurprise tu. Haya, leo kulikuwa na maandamano. And they don't even know. Polisi wametumwa na huko, polisi wako vacation, polisi wamerelax tu. Watu washatokea town. So they can't even be able to fight you in that manner. But hizi zenyu za kusema oh tunaenda siku fulani, just stop. Just stop that. You want to do this and you want a revolution. Stop doing it for the views. Stop doing it for the likes and the follows. Go do it kwa ground. Tafuteni watu waende kwa ground. Another thing I noticed with us, hii kitu vile ilianzia, there was this anonymous guy ile time ya reject finance bill, akakuja akasema reject the finance bill. People were very excited. Oh, huyu atatusaidia, he will help us expose Ruto nini. And when he didn't, watu walikasirika. I did see a lot of people tweeting saying huyu jamaa alituchocha. Another thing happened. Watu wakaanza kutag ICC, watu wa Hague, hoping that wakiona hizi picha zenye watu wameuliwa nini, they would take Ruto out and take him too. This is our fight. Don't expect ati mtu atoke na huko akuje tupiganie. It's us that have to kutoa Ruto kwa hiyo kiti for other people now to see haya washafanya hivyo, sasa wacha tuendelee. Ni kama tu in life, when you want to win, you can't just win. You can't just expect someone akuje akusaidie kuwin. But wakiona you're making progress, hapo ndo watakuja sasa wakusukume mpaka mwisho. So we have to do this thing kwa ground. Kindly people, wacheni mambo ya kuchocha watu online. Stop giving information online. Just stop. You want to win, ingieni kwa ground uko chini. Unaona kwanza hawa watu huku kwa ushago hawa watu wenye wajasoma sana. Those are your strongest weapon.
Malizia. Niko na request mob.
Ni saa hata nimemaliza.
Oh, okay, asante. Next ni Frank KE.
Yeah, good
Go ahead.
morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're tuned from. Thank you very much. Thank you, QT, for this opportunity.
Frank.
Yeah, mnasikia?
Okay, let's go to Stone PK.
Thank you so much, KOT Joy, and all those of us who are listening. Mimi niko na nini kidogo tu, and I'll follow very suit to the immediate speaker ule ametoka saa hii. Kwanza ni wa congratulate, mumefanya vizuri. Let's say the truth, because hiyo kufreeze the city, the capital city of Nairobi of Kenya, it's one very 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 remarkable thing. Sasa number two, I would want us to really rethink, just like what my immediate speaker has said. Juu sasa tumekuwa tukifanya very civil kind of revolution, and that honestly doesn't work. Revolution zote hakunanga ati maneno, oh, we are doing this peaceful, we are peaceful, we are prayerful, we are this, we are that. Because the aim is you want to topple a government. We want to remove Ruto, period. Msilete stories zingine mob hapo ati sijui nini ati muna expect sasa kuna ODM wameform hii ati sasa you expect anything good, because you cannot have a hyena being a chair to decide on how mbuzi zitachungwa hapa chini, yet mbuzi ndio chakula yake. Ruto is gaining ground. And nobody should say, oh, Ruto sijui ati sasa ana understand, ana feel, Ruto is not feeling anything. He's ruthless. Those of us who are a little bit older than you people, we know what it means for such a guy to be on the seat. Na sasa namtaona, if we don't now change the gear is one is there is nothing called peaceful. Tuachane na hiyo. Number two, it's either we decide hizo surprises, okay, ni kupanga hizo surprises, and hizo surprises zinafanywa cell type. You create cells zina communicate, smaller groups discussing, and we are discussing live. Githurai tuna discuss, Muranga tuna discuss, Nyeri, hivyo. Then we, number three, get very angry because nimerealize wa Kenya shida ile iko, we cannot succeed because we never get angry, and then we are not collective. Sai kama sasa tunasema ati revolution ni Gen Z. I've been on many platforms na nimesema revolution muache maneno ya kusema ni ya watu fulani na fulani, and that's where even Raila goofed. Alipoona vile successful imeenda, akaona hala glory yake inachukuliwa. He overturned it. Point yangu ya mwisho is that whatever is being done, ladies and gentlemen, the rich have ganged up. Wezi ndio wamegroup. Thugs, waizi, wauaji wa Kenya wameungana, Raila included. I know most of us personally, I don't want to reveal so many things. I've been on Raila's side for many years politically, okay? But I'm done with him, because anybody dining with somebody who has killed our brothers and sisters, hata kama ni babangu angefanya hivyo, I would have said enough is enough. When I see those pictures of the brains scattered on that tarmac, nikijua ati sasa huyu amejoin huko pretending that ataleta kitu itawasaidia, tafadhali forget that. Raila will not be any helpful to this country. Raila is going for a seat like anybody would apply for a seat internationally, ya bibi yake na familia yake, not for Kenya. Okay, so I know there are people who are saying jeshi la baba, and they are the ones who have really impended this movement. Gen Z and everybody else, you had done, tulikuwa tumegain ground vizuri sana, and we had choked this guy. He was at the point of kutoka, actually take off. It is Raila who stopped it. The truth be said. Okay, so nataka tukasirike kabisa na tuache maneno ya kusema peaceful, tuende ground to mobilize watu and forget about the issue ya civic education. Hakuna mtu ajui bad governance. Tusiwaste time na hizo vitu. Lastly, there are many ways of skinning a cat. Ruto akishinda watu, anaweza kufanya Matraore thing. I mean, those who get assassinated, Kwani, and I'm saying this without fear of contradiction, stop being modest. You are dealing with the devil. You are dealing with evil. Ukienda huko umeshika ati unaenda umeshika bendera peke yake, unapigwa risasi, unaanguka, because he doesn't care. So me, I would want, even if we have to retreat for like even 1 week, 2 weeks or whatever, just to rethink, do we really want to take this head on? People are talking about Bangladesh. Bangladesh uliona ilifika mpaka wanatoka na marungu. They were carrying those rungus. Why? They are carrying those rungus because they realized we are being killed. And they went and hit it head on. We can never win in terms of hii tunaita soft, sijui peaceful, sijui nini. Hiyo hatuwezi. We have now to change and hit it head on. Kumungatua ni kumungatua. He is cornered. He will use every other. He has the upper hand. He has the power over. So what do? You use the numbers as we've been saying. And your numbers in mobilize and move, not to retreat at all. Mimi nitaachia hapo by saying, let's learn to be angry. Tusikue soft. In fact, we should not even entertain usoftness. Amen. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I hope, Joy, you can hear me. So,
Yeah,
unfortunately, I've got a
kidogo.
hata iko na shida ya network.
Yeah, can
I
I speak
cannot add
kidogo?
anybody and nobody can. Frank, can you hear me? Are you able to speak or not?
Can hear you, eh?
Okay, go ahead. Because it just tells me it's connecting. No, I can't see any speaker with me. Even the
Okay,
request, I can't add anybody.
okay,
Sijui
can I
shida
speak?
iko wapi.
We can
Mwenye
Okay, can
hear.
I
anaweza
speak?
ongea ongee cause imekataa
You're
kabisa.
audible enough.
I think uko na shida ya network.
Okay, I hope nasikika vizuri, eh?
Mwenye anaweza ongea ongee.
Hello, I'm speaking, eh? I'm speaking. Uh, so far so good. Hizi peaceful protests hakuna penye zinatupeleka. So we should come up with other meaningful ways za kucounter because these guys vile tu the previous speakers wamesema tukitokea na flag eti na maji peke yake, we should come up with ways and the ways should include the security ways. Number one, hawa watu wenye wanashikwa mimi kwanza na wahurumia. I don't know if we can come up with a fund tuweze kujua like tukue na hao lawyers wenye tunajua vile hao watu wameshikwa kumeenda aje, kama ni kuchannel out the money they become released because ina demotivate the others. And then let us also come up with meaningful ways. Can we go as far as assassinations if it is possible? That is my, like, if we can go for that head, because he is coming for us. You will be abducted, never to be seen. You will not even know where you will be taken. So for me, I want to state that if we can organize, pia sisi tukue like, because we are going for a Satan, the man in the counter suit, you know, is not friendly because he is going to shoot on you and you are going to lose your life. So for me, I will just want us to improvise on our means and ways, na tuache kwenda na flags tuende ati tunafanya ati nini, because those guys, they will just harass you, abduct you and even follow you up to your homestead and then wakufanyie kitu yote wanataka. No one will speak about it. We can see all the other institutions are paralyzed, so we cannot expect something good out of our peaceful protest. So let us organize, re-strategize. Kama tunaweza pata, if there is somebody by the way mwenye anaweza tupatia a very good sniper, bro, we can channel out money, we can pay. Tumpate tu pia akikuja hizo mavitu zake akisema anatenga pia, si apate tumemtengea, so that atupate pia sisi kama tumejipanga. We cannot tolerate this because the issues that we have raised, none has been like hakuna yenye imeangaliwa so far. Those guys, they're just clumping together as political elites to organize their own and to only solve their nini for their security na kukuwa na their test ya hiyo nini hizo seats. So let us find the most punitive way, the hardest that it can B. Kama mi kwa sana sana hii yani, si ya kijana anakujanga ground. Tuwezi channel kitu kama 200 Gs tupee mtu tumwambie kazi ndio hii. Hata kama ni 1 million, we just use the resources pia sisi, because the guy is using resources. Pia sisi tunaweza mchallenge so that we know what we should be doing with that. Hiyo ndo my submission. Let us change our tactics and our ways so that we don't find this thing ati tunaenda streets tunakufa ovyo ovyo. We employ more tactics. Na pia protests lazima ziendelee in any way. We cannot stop that.
Okay, thank you. There are 4 more speakers and I want to drop the space. So kindly Frank, alafu George, alafu Kamu Junior, alafu Stone PK, in that order. We have around 10 minutes only. Space ingine itafunguliwa, don't worry, vile tu niko na emergency. So Frank and then George and then Kamu Junior and then Stone PK. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, QT. Thank you very much. Yeah, I just want to be very brief because time is really running. Yeah, yesterday I was in the street, I was in Nairobi, I was in CBD. What I saw there, it was very, sikubambika na kitu niliona. Just imagine mimi nimefika tu Nairobi hapo CBD, naenda kuchukua ka flag kangu, alafu jamaa ananiuliza nanunua flag, kwa nini nanunua flag? Mpaka umadhi alikuwa anauza flag na akamuuliza, what is wrong with you? Si mimi niko biashara, kijana amekuja kununua flag. Just imagine buying a flag. Ndio nikauliza huyu jamaa, unaniulizaje mambo ya flag? Mbona hujaniuliza nimevaa hii bracelet kwa mkono? I don't know where we are going. This sahi mali imefika, inafaa tu change nini zetu sasa, tutafute mbinu nyingine because jamaa tukiendelea hivi jamaa atatumaliza. Venye nabonga sahi mimi niliumia mguu jana. Sahi mguu yangu ina bleed, niliumia, sahi niko kejani, hata kutembea ni shida. But I will never give up. Ile kitu inafaa, jana naye mlituangusha, hakuna haja niwadanganye. Jana kuangusha, hata kama ni percent, jana ningewapatia 6 out of 10. Hakuna kitu mlifanya, mlinipa baridi. So the best thing tusikue tu.
Okay, I'm sorry for disrupting again. Kama umetuma pesa sahi tu kwa Marvin, kindly DM. Kama umetuma do tukiwa kwa space, kindly DM. Okay, mwenye alikuwa anaongea, you can continue.
Okay. Let me take this opportunity. Sijui kama mnanisikia? Can you hear me guys? Hello, mnanisikia?
Yes, you're audible. Unasikika?
Yeah. For those who just joined this space later, maybe naona mnaturudisha mahali tulikuwa tumetoka. Before hii space tubadilishe ikuwe title ni Let's Take to the Streets. Kuna vile vitu ambazo tumezungumzia na naona still tuko na negative energy which we do not need here. I have been listening to some of the speakers here na ni kama mnataka kuturudisha tu nyuma. So one thing that I want to say is that already tushaamua kuwa, because we had given a notice ya maandamano ya jana of which it was counteracted by the police. They had planned. We planned this morning so that we can do a counter attack. I want to state categorically here, there is no way you will ever do something here in Kenya which is a secret. Huwezi panga kitu hapa Kenya tuseme unapanga ni secret. That is not possible. Anything that you plan, mradi inahusisha mtu mmoja, wawili, wamefika watano, you can be assured it is known. The strategy here is the notice. If we are giving a short notice, like today, we woke up in the morning and we thought that, guys, we can't give up. Let's before we give up on demonstration to same as work, let's go to the streets when the police least expected. We know they are here. It's a short notice. Hii si wiki mbili kama ile ya 8 tumeamka asubuhi, watu walikuwa wameona usiku, watu wame give up, and now we are in the streets. As we talk, people are on the ground right now waiting for you, and you are here arguing, tusiseme vitu sijui nini. How are you going to get people to the streets if you are not communicating to them? The issue here is we are not giving long notices. Like today, we just said we are going to the streets. People are already there, and people are busy saying, "Let us, as CG, relax, CG, re-strategize." What are we re-strategizing? And people are already in the streets. Kama unaogopa ama you walk with the crowds, that's okay. Me, I've had an opportunity to deal with people. Leading people is difficult. Sometimes you show up and you are alone and you feel like people have betrayed you. That is a very wrong mentality. This thing should be personal, guys. You can't be telling me that you were demoralized because people did not show up. No, you showed up for yourself. And that is enough. You won. So for now, I don't know, tulikuwa tumesema by 10:30 watu wakuwe tao, na watu washaenda tao. As we talk, watu tuko tao, and you are here saying, oh, sijui 1 week, sijui to re-strategize. When will you ever be serious? Kama kitu emergency huwezi tokelezea na ndio tuone vile vitu zitaenda, unaongea unasema nini? Please msiturudishe nyuma. Me, I want watu wa show up, then after today then we can come back and now give reports comparing a demonstration where we gave a notice of 2 weeks and the one that we gave a notice of 2 hours. Let's go to the streets right now. Tulikuwa tumeagree space ishe by 10:30. Hata naona it's 4 minutes to time so that people can come to town. And those who do not want to come, it's okay. You have your right to choose to go or to choose not to go, but mimi nawaaji tu wase wachani hii bad energy sijui nini social media, hiyo ni bad energy. Don't speak about that issues right now. We are talking about how are we going to occupy the streets right now because people already are on the ground. Tuache hiyo mama bwana, tokelezea, just come for yourself and don't look at who is going to come. Be on your own. When you get to town, you will meet us. Some of us are in Uhuru Park and others are on their way coming. Archives, tutapatana hapo and we will see. So tuache hiyo bad energy, tutokelezee. That is my submission.
Well, personally, I'd like to agree with Kamu Jr. because this whole thing of back and forth, saa zingine, it gets a bit, annoying and frustrating. I know the space is about to end, so I won't say much, but I'll be waiting for the next space to start. Personally, I was there yesterday at town, CBD, and I was trying to locate Watu via the social media. And, the problem is when you are alone qua street, as you said, in terms of where you don't see the groupings, you don't see even few people, it becomes an issue. Because kama yesterday I was filming these mercenaries, these goons who are in plain clothes, and I happen to notice they have been traveling with an escort. And the people on the ground pia hawa wamebriefiwa, like the policemen, once they see somebody taking a video na wako isolated on their own, lazima wamshike. Because me nilishikwa na watu wawili, and upon being apprehended, there was one friendly cop there and this other one was like basically kuonesha kifua, like unafanya nini, do you know this is wrong, unajua hii sheria ikubali. And I'm like, wale wanashoot watu wenye wamesimama with tear gas canisters, how is that right? This guy is like, unaongelesha nani hivyo? And I'm like, okay, unataka aje? This other one was like, fungua simu, nini una record, where is your press pass? So once I opened the phone and deleted the video, this other guy was like, enda. No, this other one was like, the civic education we are doing in terms of like educating our people, I think that should also be done to the police force, because there's an element of anger. I don't know what they're being fed there in terms of information, because once they come to the street, the element of anger is very strong. As I said, I won't talk much because the space was to end at 10:30. So I digress.
Tukutane tao.
Yeah, guys, thank you. So wenye tunaenda street, in case of communication, you can tweet, tuta amplify. Ukiona haiko amplified, you can DM so that I can amplify. Thank you, bye guys. Space ingine itafunguliwa. Take care all.
unajua hii ni my first time co-hosting, I don't even know how to. So kwa hivyo nilikuwa nataka kuongea sana, let the people who are there maybe waongee, because this time mi sikukuwa maandamano. Anyway,
Okay. Secret. I think we
Yeah.
lost why you are out.
Hata karibu ni jam. KOT ana drop hii story kama mi ndio naongea. Okay, so I think I was almost finishing, and I just wanted to add, apart from what I said on propaganda and how we can contribute kujamisha hii gava, by the way, cyber wise. Okay, let me just also niseme mbona ninasema story ya tech, because this government kuna place yenye tuko juu kualiko. These people are analog, most of them, by the way. That's why you see even somebody as bright as Mbadi alikuwa anaulizwa, are you aware of crypto, like things that the innovations that are just emerging now. Alisema hajui, but he is willing to learn, you know. So these are people who, well, I caught offense then, because now how do you employ somebody who is still learning, and yet it's a country where there are so many people, they're experts already in that field, you know. And even the financial space, the financial institution space, there are so many innovations and things are evolving, you know, and there are so many things that are coming that are new now. Ukiangalia hii gava, by the way, because they don't employ people based on merit. Hapo kwa tech, by the way, if we start anything yenye ni cyber war, tutawamaliza. Well, hata kama tutawamaliza, but we will be on an upper hand, because hawajui kitu. Me, I'm sure hawajui. Most of them, they don't know how to deal even with tech crimes. Unakumbuka hiyo? I'm not suggesting that, but I'm just saying that should we go that direction, watakuwa in shit. I don't know if you remember, there's a time that we had rumors that what was Sudan had hacked our e-citizen system, and we had to stay for I don't know how long for it to be reinstated. A ministry that has kuna minister wa ICT, kuna sijui a whole team, but they could. That's why unasikianga cases kama student wa JKUAT sijui amefanya nini, mtu amefanya nini, because these people, they don't know anything. Like, okay, they're not very tech savvy. So that's an area we can look into. Finally, I was talking about tribalism. Guys, tribalism is the greatest cancer in this war. Like, it is the weakest link kwa hii war, by the way. That is why when we were seeking for good governance, these people, they brought to us tribal kingpins, because they also understand that, and they understand that we are so deeply embedded into tribal alliances that even reasoning cannot get us from that hole. So how do we deal with it? First, I suggested propaganda. But secondly, civic education. Civic education is very important. Tuambie watu wetu that things are like, we just lay it bare. And for me, I think still propaganda ndio ita work, even in that to dismantle tribalism, we need to go dirty. We need to go dirty by making them understand. If common Kenyan, whatever he understands is tribal language, tell them, knock them down in that tribal alliance. Waambie unajua nini, these people ni wakalendo, bado wameshikilia hii story yenye ati tumepewa minister of I don't know what. These are just give them that kind of thing, because that is the only language that people like that one that I was saying that sisi wajaluo tuko kwa serikali. And then, instead of some people just ignoring that fool, ninaona sasa somebody has picked it up and is now generalizing the whole community. Don't feed into trash. Think that, like, we cannot respond to everybody. You know, you can't respond to every, because we know what we are doing. We have come out as a people who have gone to school and ourselves. So there are things you just let pass, you know. You don't generalize the whole community and start saying that, you know, sasa Wajaluo wamesema. That was one person. Hata ajielewi. I can assure you, hata mbadi mwenye hata ajui. Huh? So don't respond to certain things. Usipeane voice kwa vitu zenye hazi make sense. And if we are going to win this war, I'm sorry to say, the kind of person that we have at the helm of our country, all normal and moderate and obedient ways will not work. We will have to go dirty at some point. And because we cannot go dirty, because they have the guns and all that, we can only go dirty on propaganda. We cannot say that, oh, now we are going to fight these people because they have guns and we don't have, you know. But we can still go dirty. Yeah, we can still go dirty when we say, okay, now tutachapa aura for aura. It will work, because the biggest population of Kenyans still, they have not done the work on themselves. They are very shallow. The people that I'm seeing now, mtu anasimama anasema sisi Wajaluo tuko ndani, people have not done work on themselves. People are still very shallow. And easy aura for aura will work. Me, I can assure you. Me, naonanga mamangu saa zingine ananitumia something that I understand this one is edited, but ameichukua kabisa, ameichukua mpaka kwa roho, you know. Unaona Ruto leo alipigiwa kelele coast, and for me, because I understand like these are edited things, you know. But imagine if my mom has taken that, oh my God, ground kumbe sio hivyo, ground ni chafu, and she's spreading the propaganda around, you know. People in our country have refused to do the work, and because they have refused to do the work, politicians are capitalizing on that, and us who want to change the country should also capitalize on that. And that's where the dirt comes in. Because we will not fight Ruto with guns. We will fight him in the other way. Propaganda war, Ruto hafai kutushinda, by the way. Hafai kutushinda. And if he was a normal person, if he was a normal leader, we could have just said, oh, let's go and talk to this guy. After all, me personally, I don't want Kenya to fail. And I don't think there is anybody who wants Kenya to fail. But Ruto is not a normal person. That one is a psycho. Hauwezi mwongelesha. So hiyo story ya dialogue, story ya obedience, story ya rule of law and follow the constitution, yes, very good in theory, you know. Enda mchukue kura, very good. Tuchukue kura, tufanye nini, tutachukua. But Ruto, rest assured, has captured the whole of IEBC. Rest assured, he has captured the whole of judiciary. He has captured, imagine Ruto has killed opposition. Right now, sasa, imagine we are on our own. Ruto kill opposition. Ruto is using Moi 101. This is Moi's tactic 101. Come, buy opposition people, you know, plant people so that now we cannot even speak freely because Ruto will serve ears, like during Moi's times. And you can be picked and get abducted anytime. That is the person that we are dealing with. So, like, as we keep on suggesting strategies, let us keep in mind that the struggle here is not lack of strategies. The struggle is the personality of the man we are dealing with. He's a psycho. He's a narcissist, you know? And when you're dealing with somebody like that, normal ways don't work. You have to be a little bit crazy. That is the only way. And also just to remind you that we thought it was going to be a medium run, but as it seems, it's going to be a very long marathon, and we have to be prepared. Msichoke, watu wasichoke, tuweke tu gear tu. Huh? I don't know, I'm not very privy to nini, but tuweke tu ile slow mode, but tuende deeper. When we are analyzing the strategies, we first need to understand who are we dealing with. you know. So hizi stories are hizi normal ways za sijui chukueni kura, chukua kura na Ruto hata kwanza, by the way, saizi haja constitute IBC for a reason. He's still analyzing who is here that is going to help me still vote. How am I going to deal with 1, 2, 3? You know? That is the reason why this man has not constituted IBC. Hakuna nyingine. This is a tag we are dealing with. A person who should have never been even a chief. I really regret that day. I think that was the darkest day that Kenya has ever had. The day we had that man in the helm of our country. Na mpaka saizi, by the way, I've not forgiven fully the people who installed this man there. I feel so bad because there were all evidences. All evidences were there. Hakukukuwa na mtu mwenye hakuwa anajua that we are messing up. It is very sad. But we have to, because now we are here, we cannot continue blaming each other any longer, you know? Because even this other old man, well, if they were still there together, I would say that he's some evil that can at least anaweza sikia mtu na anarudi nyuma kidogo, but it's still the same. It's still the same bogus shit, you know? But now that we are here, we cannot continue saying that, oh, it is now time for Luos to punish these other people, and then wait for another time that now it is now Kikuyu Zua punishing these other people because you installed this one. You know, those are bullshit. You tell your people to open their minds. I don't know why Kenyans have refused to work on themselves. We are demanding people, leaders of principles, but even us, we don't have any principles. We stand for nothing, you know? We fall for everything. Watu wako tu, hata uelewi story, but sasa wewe uko tu mtu wenyu, hata Mbadi has been an MP for 15 years. Uko kwake hata barabara ya kwenda kwao is mad. You want to tell me that now he's going to do some miracle? Ati sasa amepewa, sasa we uko na bana, mkue watu serious, hata nyinyi bana Wakenya, hata sisi tukue serious, huh? We need to also work on ourselves. We need to work on ourselves. Sijui ni kusoma na watu wamesoma tu vizuri. I don't understand Kenyans, by the way. A lot of things are missing. Vichwa zetu kuna nuts. I'm so mad, by the way. Anyway, let me give another person a chance. Thank you, KOT.
Okay, Chege, can you take over?
I can. Hi guys.
Okay. Go ahead.
Amemaliza?
Yes, alimaliza kitambo.
Oh, sawa. Pole. Niko
Watch a lactose. Lactose can go ahead.
Asante. I'm restarting my phone and actually switching it off so that I've connected on the computer. Lactose, karibu.
Are you there, lactose? Go ahead.
Lactose the intolerant. Labda yuko. Culture, niaji? Nice
Yes,
seeing you.
Nico.
Welcome to this co-hosting.
Yes, thank you so much. Guys, mine is one, and my contribution itakuwa kwanza leo tumeona whatever that has happened. One thing I want to congratulate everyone that the Gen Zs have won in many ways. Number one, mnafaa kujua we made Ruto not to get out of the country. We rejected the finance bill. We made the MPs to eat humble pie wale watu walikuwa na kiburi. I think we should number one think of the achievements that we have done so far. And the next strategy is what? The next strategy for these people, we have seen where our Mandamano is going. We are hardening Ruto every day. We are showing him he's getting used to Mandamano. So now the most important thing until 2027 is something called civic education. You've seen what Kasmuel was doing, bunge la wananchi, you go and try to, by the way, in Kenya, if you try to save people, utaangamia peke yako. And I have this experience with unions. I'm a medical doctor, by the way. And when we had our strike, for example, we all strike, tuliagana, tuliinsaitiana, tulitoka. Guess what? Some of the medic went back, walienda, wanafanya kazi with the hard conditions, with what we went through. So this thing I've realized in Kenya, you will never have something called unity. If you look at and for example, the revolution that happened in Bangladesh, I don't know if you can hear me, guys.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, if you look at the revolution that happened in Bangladesh, it was more coordinated from neighborhoods. Everyone was involved. People walikuwa nasaidiana, from university students to the elders to everyone. And so, for example, if you look at ours in Kenya, I've realized all politics is local. For example, I'm not going to profile a certain community because of this, but I've realized Raila joining Ruto was the end of Mandamano. Let us swallow a bitter truth that him joining the Mandamano was the end of Mandamano, by the way. And what I've realized is many people have decided to go that way. But what is next for us? I think, my opinion, I don't think if anyone can have the same opinion as me. My opinion is one: civic education and voters card. Let me tell you, if we vote against Ruto, 4 to 5 million people, he cannot steal 5 million votes. If we come out and vote out by 9 a.m., we will vote him out. But venye naona maandamano zinaenda, if you look at many people who are inciting people, they have never been on the ground other than kina Hanifa na kina Nani. If you look at someone like Nyakundi, he has never been on the ground. Sometimes maybe you see him there and there, Natokea, Amerix. Those people probably look people who are staged, were inciting.
Kiasi. Kindly, let us not talk about people who are not on this
No,
stage.
siko
Please.
ubaya. I'm just
No. Personally, I've been with
okay.
Nyakundi
Okay,
on the ground.
I'll okay.
Honestly, nishaikuwa na
So
Nyakundi kwa ground. So let us stick on the topic. Let us not talk about
okay.
matters about other
So
people,
what I will
please.
do is this. I've realized this thing, there was a lot of disconnect from many places. There was disunity. People were fighting left, right, center. So there was a lot of distraction. So I think we lost our chance on the 25th. On the 25th was the day that we would have occupied parliament. No one would have come out, occupy State House and everywhere. But I think it has come to pass. The next thing is voters card. The next thing is voting out these people. Nothing else will work. Civic education, deplatforming them from churches, or if they go to mosques, wherever they will go to, fighting them there on the ground, fighting the counties. The biggest corruption, by the way, that is happening in Kenya is county level. I think for us to clean, this thing has to start from the counties, then coming up all the way. And that needs a lot of civic education. Mostly local politics in Kenya is all about tribal. Yani mtu wetu akiingia hapo hivyo, if you look at Raila ameingia hapo hivyo, many people are happy and many people were supporting this cause. Since Raila joined, they joined him. So you can just imagine what is happening. So I think we are all learning from this. We have won, and I want to congratulate everyone that who came out and fought for his right and was fighting for good governance. And shame to those who are opposing it. And I think the most important thing is voters card, civic education. That is the way to go right now, because we have seen how things are being. People are being arrested, people are being killed, and it will only cause casualty, and they are winning on the ground. The only way is the way that you remember when reject finance bill was being popularized everywhere, the hashtags, like then the biggest mandamano ever Kenya had happened. So those kind of things are things that will unite people. And those politicians who are hiding behind these mandamanos, they will just disappear one way or another. And let us not feel that we have lost. We have gained a lot, by the way. We have made Ruto more humble than he was. He cannot get out of the country. He has not, for the last 2 months, I think he has been around. And if you remember, the last 2 years, he traveled more than 68 countries, more than Uhuru did in, is it 10 years or whatever? So I think we have done a good job, and congratulations to everyone who participated in one way or another through hashtags and everything. And I think that is my contribution for now. Thank you.
Quasi lactose intolerant. Culture. Who was next? Kusioni ni kama watu wameinua mikono. Iko mtu ameinua mkono. Mr. H.
JM is next.
Yeah. Okay, niko hapa. I hope niko audible. Okay, so nilikuwa kwa ground na kitu moja niliobserve ni Makara walikuwa very defensive, extremely defensive, that ilikuwa not easy. Najua tumejeke in a position ile kitu tunataka kufanya, it's not even within the law. Let's just be honest with ourselves that kutoa preso, it's not a walk in the park. At saa tumesema tuende tumtoe, saa alafu tumtoe. Yani kitu expect a fight back, na tulikuwa so audible na tumetoa plan zetu nini. Hizo plans zilikuwa zinasikika vile tulikuwa tunaingia. So vile walitackle, waliweka defensive na waliweka indiscriminatory. Hakukuwa na msa alikuwa anaingia tao. Either ulikuwa unaenda hata job tu normally, either ulikuwa unaenda kufungua busy yako, ilikuwa hard wasee kuingia tao. So haikuwa rahisi hivyo. Kwa hata nikiingia ilibidi nitoe passport yangu ndo niingie CBD. Yani it was a real defensive work that police did. Na si tukuwa tumefocus na kwenda, tukuwa tumesema tunaenda State House, so awangetupatia ni easy time kwenda State House. Haya, number 2 ni ukumbuke sahii tumejieka in a political discourse, na argument za hawa say wanasema kama tunataka kutoa Ruto tumtoe within legal means, na hiyo ndio argument yao, na wata-insist nayo, na watasema if you're not going to do anything that is legal, pia watajiprotect according to the law. So hizo vitu pia ni facts, lazima tudeal nazo, ndo tujue mali tunaweka expectations zetu na mali vitu tunaweza achieve na vitu tunakuta kama obstacles. Obstacles hapa ni makarao, especially tukisema tunaenda place kama State House. Hiyo iwezi kuwa, it's not a walk in the park, that's a fact. Alafu ukiangalia hiyo story, wase wengine walikuwa a bit waoga wakiona okay ndio okay, sawa toke, tuko na moral ndio ya kutaka kutoka, lakini I think it's illegal. Unaona pia kuna conscience za wase, mtu anaona hapana, it's not within the law ya kufanya kitu kayo, so inamuingiza njeve akiona manze niende kudedi, I'm not ready to die. Kuna hizo ni vitu ina instill fear kwa wasee, and it's a reality. Kuna msa ako ready, yani yes kutokezea, and yet kama kunaona kama kwa occupy parliament, it's legal kwa occupy parliament because it's something that unaweza peleka petition hapo, it's within the law and kama hizo. So tukigo extreme, which tumefanya kazi poa, and ukiangalia sahi tunaweza stua gava without Raila, that is something big tumefanya in less than 2 months. Kitu Raila amefanya his whole career. You can imagine. So tumefanya kitu ingine tu ajab, niliona tumeparalyze business yote, hakuna kitu ilikuwa inafanyika kwa nito the whole county of Nairobi. Na ukiangalia county ya Nairobi ifanyi, inamaanisha hizo county zingine zinakuwa affected. So tuko tu within track, na kuna other strategies tunaweza weka, kama kwa vile kama ilikuwa imekuwa ngumu, tunaweza occupy bado embassy, tunaweza decide kama vile Wahindi walifanya wakitoa manitaje British, tunaweza amua kupeleka shit mazee, tupeleke shit Nairobi mzima inuke shit. Yani hii ni pressure mpaka Ruto ashindwe kuget do, ashindwe kumanage gava ndia hadi resign, cause the only thing kama focus ni Ruto must go, ni lazima tujue it's not gonna be easy, but we can apply pressure. Akikosa pesa, kiparalyze government, then ataran gava gani? Hakuna gava ataran. So hizo tujieke tu moral, bado tuko within the course. uh, tusijibit tukifikiria ati just because leo tuko achieve ati go down, go tu sawa kabisa, tuko sawa kabisa. Hata hizo stori za tribalism, hizo vitu lazima tuta encounter, kwa sababu huwezi underestimate influence ya a person like Raila for example, unaelewa? So hizo ni vitu zina happen juu ni political, so we are in a political discourse that hizi obstacles lazima tuzi encounter, but all in all tuko poa tu, mi naona tuko poa. So focus tu, Ruto must go, tuendelee kuambia wasee ni nini tunataka Ruto, why should Ruto go. Hiyo message lazima ikuwe clear, tuendelee tukiambia wasee, yani chikini manzee, do zenyu zinaibiwa, cause tuko in that position. Let's continue and do it until itakuwa organic tu, itakuwa organic juu nani angetel juu hiyo 25th ingekuwa that big, because ilikuwa organic. Just let's continue doing it na itakuwa, trust me, itakuwa kaa tumefika mali si tunaweza simamisha gava, trust me itakuwa. Ni hayo tu kwa leo manze.
Osando, go
Asante
ahead.
sana. Who else do we have? Nobody with their hand up. Oh, he got the real Joe. The real Joe. Mambo.
Poa sana.
Osando, we can't hear you. Hatukusikii.
Did you say on Sando?
Culture. Is the real Joe talking?
No, ni Osando, ni Osando alikuwa
Simsikii
anaongea.
Osando.
Okay. I hear you now. 2 minutes. I want to say that today it was a success. Why? Reasons: we were able to shut down the CBD business. Nairobi ilikuwa stand still. No business was going on. And that's exactly why I say we won. Now, one of the recommendations that I have is that we need to Sundays needs to be our main day of protesting. Wachana na Tuesdays, Jumaine. Sundays when these guys go to church, they get sanitized, wananunua church elders and church priests and whatever they are, they call themselves. Uh, we need to start. Sunday needs to be our first day of protest of every day, and in fact, tomorrow people need to go out. Now, why do I say this? Because we one of the things why we were not effective today is because we needed like a rehearsal. Like yesterday, we needed to come out and tease these guys out. But it's a good thing. It's a learning curve. We know what they are and what we are, what we want. Now, since Ruto has managed to come to our game and kinda scored 50+1% of our game. Now I think it's time for us to go out and defeat him in his own yard. So let's know when he's going out to. Chega, please
please mute your mic. Chege. Where Chege? Tafadhali, mute your mic. KOT, you can mute Chege's mic. There's an
Sorry,
echo.
sorry, 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 sorry.
Thank you, Chege. Now, listen, guys. Let us defeat Ruto on his own game. We gave him time. He gave us time. We were so reluctant. Now, I want to know where Ruto is going to be next. I think it's Eldoret, but I think we can get 50 people in Eldoret, right? He postponed Eldoret's rallies because he wanted to swear in cabinet secretaries on the same day we were having mandamanos, so people from Kisumu and all over the country could celebrate, one of our own in quotes. One of our own in quotes. Guys, you are dealing with drug barons like Joho 001. He's a drug baron. Uliza tu mtu from Mombasa awambie who Joe is before he even became a member of parliament. This guy has been selling drugs, cocaine, what have you, to the residents of Mombasa. But somehow, anyway, uh, now going forward, wacha tuingie kwa mikutano yake, we infiltrate his meetings. Why? I'm saying this because we are educated. We know we know what he can do. Listen, Ruto cannot defeat us. He handles people who are not educated. Ask me why I despise DCI and all those other people who work for him. Why? I I have high regard for people uh for lawyers. These are two different things. Lawyers, you have to excel in your high school exams. You have to have like at least a B plus or A minus or A plus or A plain to become a lawyer. But to become a DCI, you just need a D plus. See, I despise the DCI because they rely on the information that we give them here on X. So they are here today listening to what our next plan is. They do not have a clue of what is coming next. But lawyers, constitution is what binds them to us. Now, Ruto does not like the Gen Z movement. Why? Because we are educated, we know what is next, we know what they are planning, we know everything. We are educated. We know we have minerals in Kenya. Why the fact we have minerals in Kenya? We have oil, we have gold, we have titanium, we have all the minerals that make it possible for anybody to run any mobile company business. We did not, most people did not know this until we started this movement less than a month ago. So Raila had to rush in and bargain the power. That's why he's been given the treasury and the minerals. But Ruto is going to be the top guy. Listen, Joho is not gonna know everything. Ruto knows everything what's going on. He's going to block he's going to tell those guys. If Joho asks for any whatever explanations, tell them you cannot disclose. But I am Kissy. Unsando is a Kissy name. And what?
Okay, wind up.
Yes, I will.
Start winding
Yeah,
up.
yes, I will. But you have to listen to this. Nyachai, before his death, he used to say that the only way you can get me out of parliament is through the casket. But we disapproved him. He used to make Kissy people his business, and we were wrong. We defied his narrative, and we kicked him out before he even died. So what I'm saying is, we have the power. We can do whatever we want. Need to start going out on Sundays. Why? Because Sundays is the day where Ruth goes to church and he kneels and he gets blessings and he confuses our parents, gets blessings, and he goes back to the streets again and he starts to spread his propaganda. I agree with there is a girl, Cigarette, who said, we need how is Ruto going to beat us in propaganda? We need to start spreading out propaganda about him to our parents and our peers in the rural areas. This guy is trying. There is no reason why he's building affordable housing locations where people do not.
Okay, boss, umemaliza?
Okay, just 1 minute. I
Wind up.
will. I am going up right now. We need
Okay.
to start beating him in his own game. Let us know where he's going to be next. Let us get 50 people and they can raise their banners and say Ruto out and reason so why were we doing that, so people can understand like this thing is alive. We won today because the CBD was closed down. There was no business going on. And I think tomorrow we still need to go out, but Sundays we need to switch from Tuesdays and Wednesdays to Sundays. And
Okay, thank you so
thanks
much.
KOT and Carl. Yeah, thanks for Culture Kenya Media. Thanks. Alan.
Wanjiro, give me. Yes, Wanjiro, go ahead. Wanjiro, are you there? Okay, I can't hear her. Chege, you there? Chege, yuko JM uko hapo? JM? Hey, JM ayuko. Didi.
JM ni kani listener.
Oh, okay. And Didi, you're there? Okay. Didi ayuko hapo. All right. I guess I can say
Uliza watu
something.
wainue mkono.
And anaambia
Oh, wanakataa
I'm
kusikia.
like
Wanjiro,
wasikiza.
Wanjiro is here.
I've been
Wanjiro is
asking for
always awake.
Wanjiro. Yuko wapi? Wanjiro uko?
Niko hapa.
Wanjiro won't come here and sleep. He's too
Tuambie, but
too many years of
before I say that, if
professionalism. Hi, Wanjiro.
Hi.
okay,
Welcome. Speak to us.
Mnanisikia?
go ahead, Wanjiro. Wacha ni mute. Let me mute myself.
Mnanisikia?
Yeah, we hear you.
Kusikia vizuri
As
sana.
you know, this is my favorite night space when I'm working at night.
Don't work too hard.
I have to pay bills. Niko diaspora.
Hey, where?
Hey guys, what a day! What a day! What a day! You know that a war is a series of battles, right? When you go to university, see, it's a degree of 4 years. So me, when I went to law school, first year Dean's Merit List, second year Dean's Merit List, third year Nikadunda. It's like I never went to school. Eh? Out of 5 subjects, I failed 3. It's like actually, it's like I was not there. Alafu, you just recover. You do it again, and then you do it from experience. When you finish that degree,
When you get it, yani, it is awesome. That is called the war, right? That is how I look at every single battle. So, reject finance bill, that was Dean's merit list. Number one, summa cum laude, right? Then you did a series of others. And then you guys went to that, was it Uhuru Park? Another summa cum laude. So you guys have been on such a high. So it's been such a high. So when this happened and it looked like a bit of a deflation, it was not a loss. It was not a failure. It was just that it can't always be a high. And that is called life, right? And I think for me, it is always an opportunity to learn. There was something that needed to be learned here because as you're going, also your enemy started learning a few things as well. You could no longer catch them by surprise. And that's what happened. So what were my observations today? Unfortunately, I was in court at some point, and then there was not much coverage. So nilikuwa na Wakenya, nilikuwa naangalia kidogo kidogo. One of the things I observed is that you could not assemble. You had no chance to even sit, and I'm looking at strategies of war and battles. Those guys did not give you a chance to even sit together for 5 minutes. They had been given instructions. Vuruga hawa watu. Kabisa. Now, when
We can barely hear you. I think you're muffled.
can you hear? What am I audible at all?
Yeah, yes, you are audible. He's interrupting you rudely.
I can hear clearly.
Okay, all right. So can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So what I saw in this art of war that was being played today was the art of kuvurugana. So you were not even able to assemble, so you could not form a group, right? And I could remember during when I was growing up, I remember more used to use those tactics. It was called, they could not even let our parents sit in groups of 5. And that's how we learned how to assemble even at home. And at some point, I remember there were times that even the police used to come home and they would say no parties even at home because you were just, because the minute 5 people are assembled, walikuwa wana plan. So you can see Ruto is Moi's child, which means he has learned how to suspend the constitutional right to assembly. That I can see. And this is the new art of war number 1. The other thing I noticed today is that you're being delegitimized. Another strategy of war. I could see that the people in the streets, the street vendors were being harassed. Walikuwa wanachapwa viboko. I never saw that before. This was a new one. I'm very observant when it comes to seeing things that are happening around me. They were being beaten so that you can be delegitimized, so that the business community can turn against you as the anarchists, so that they can become your enemies. That was very clear about what they were doing. The third thing that I realized today is that there was excessive use of force, And what I was curious about is yesterday, Secretary Z was in State House, and they had a big show about how they are supporting democracy, human rights, rights of assembly. And this time they came to State House. They actually came. They didn't call. Last time they made a phone call, but this time wakachukua ndege wakakuja State House. So I was curious, what was that move about? Yet today was the most ridiculous form of the use of force. I was very curious about what that move was all about. So with those couple of observations, I think it's important, and I'm not advising you. I'm just saying from a strategy perspective. I think it's about time that you regrouped and re-strategized, understanding that your strategy now being formless and having not having a sort of centers of command perhaps has outlived its usefulness for now. Because I'm also assuming that because of all the deaths and the intimidation, parents are not allowing their children to get out of the house. And people are afraid. He has basically managed to sell fear. And people do buy fear. Fact. It's a fact. So how do you do this? One strategy that you can do is to create centers of command. And you can't be doing this online. You can't be doing this on spaces. So it's about time that you started meeting as people, as human beings, right? And you need to start now creating trust amongst yourselves. And how was that done during Umkhonto we Sizwe is the liberation struggle movement for South Africa. And when I came here when it was just coming out of apartheid. So you don't need one leader, but you do need centers of command that are working in groups, maybe of 100 people or 50 people with centers of command, and then you need to have one message. How it looks like, I don't know, but you do need to start meeting as people, and then you start creating structures around yourselves. Then you start trying to attack in groups. So maybe one day a group of 100 people who you all know each other, and you can say, I know 50 people whom I trust. KOT knows 50 people. On Sando or Chege, you know 50 people who you trust in groups. And then you say, today we're going to go and fling shit at the British Council, for example. Or you're going to do something crazy. Or you're going to, on Sunday, I heard somebody saying that a Sunday is a very good day because there's no security in churches. You basically form groups, and every Sunday you go and create chaos, deplatform those people, because there's no security. You just go, 50 of you, 100 of you, wakianza kupiga kelele, munasimama, you go to the altar, you take the microphone, you make noise, and that happens in all counties, so that it happens, but you guys organize yourselves either in person or you go into Telegram, but you know that you're working with groups of people. So that for me is what I was observing, and I wasn't on the ground, so I don't know what you guys saw. I'm just, and please correct me if I'm wrong. So the other thing that I was thinking about is you guys are smart kids. You're smart. What about cyber terrorism? You're smart. You can get together as people with brains and bring down websites and hack stuff. I don't know. Do something to just frustrate the system and make it difficult for things to operate. I think you guys have the capacity to do that. The other thing, I've realized that obviously Ruto has absolutely no respect for the rule of law or the constitution. We've seen that. The way he's operating, there are so many cases have been said about the use of force, about how to work with protesters, not to use tear gas, not to do this, not to do that. But he's still doing it. So even come 2027, in as much as we know that there is 15 million, the youth vote is very rich. There's about 15 million of you. Even if 80% of you show up, you can just install a government on your own. But this is a person that probably will not even get out of power. We've seen that. So the pressure has to be sustained. And I know that I don't know whether you guys are ready to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. There is no point of having pressure without organizing yourselves in some form of movement that is organized, that has some sort of form where you can also start, bringing yourselves up into a political movement or some form of the other. The other thing is, somebody talked about civic education. It is so important, and I heard somebody say earlier on that civic education, politics is local. It's true, it is local. My mom is a baby boomer. She's 78, she's 76, 77. And the only way I could get them to understand what was happening is to go and talk in their language. If you think about selling Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola is a drink. You sell it in America in a certain way. When you come to Kenya, you sell it with a different message. It is still the same Coca-Cola. When you sell Coca-Cola in Nairobi, it's not the same message that you use it to sell in Kiambu. So when I went to my mom and I told her about land rights, I know she's a Mkikuyu, Mogoda. I told her, Mom, if this happens, Mogoda is going to become lease and you start paying rent. And then you will become homeless. Eventually we lose our ancestral home. She was like, Atete. And then I started talking about seeds and traditional seeds. I said, you will no longer be able to plant the seeds. You will not, it is going to be illegal. And she said, Atebego, that's the language they understand. So she went to her church And those are the people who are lied into. I never supported Ruto. I was very clear from the very beginning. I was clear that Aleppo just does not change its spot. I was anti-Ruto completely. And they're the ones who had supported Ruto. So she went back to her church and said, this man is a monster. He wants to take our land and they want us to stop planting seeds. That's the message they heard. So when we are doing civic education, take one message and just use the message that they hear. Don't try to tell them about decolonization. Don't try to tell them about, I don't know, World Bank and IMF and I don't know what all different messages packaged for different people. And then it just cascades. And before you know it, even the community that is not understanding what the Gen Z, I call you guys the millennials because it's the Gen Zs and the millennials. Even those who don't understand what they're doing, all of a sudden they'll start saying, let's go, let's go. All of a sudden you will not need to convince them, and then you'll start having now a critical mass of movement. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes time. There's no revolution that is overnight. And I know it's a generation of instant gratification. You guys don't know how we used to write letters to our boyfriends, and you open it, you write it with a pen, you put perfume in it, alafu unaeka, you put, and then you take a stamp, you lick it, you liquid, you stamp, lick it, alafu unaeka kwa post office, inaenda 1 month, inaenda month ingine, unangoja, inakuja, unafungua, you guys don't know that. You make boyfriends and girlfriends on WhatsApp, alafu you break up on WhatsApp. You don't know how to go na call box, alafu unangojea mtu akupigie simu kwa call box hapo 20th century. That generation, you don't know that. So it's a world of now. So I understand, and I have 2 Gen Zs in my house. I've got 21-year-old girls at University of Cape Town. I get it. In fact, these days they tell me am I cheating on them with young people? Because I sound like, they're like, where did you get that word from? I'm like, I heard it on Spaces. So just be kind to yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. I'm seeing such negativity online, guys. It's a marathon. You've done so much. You've achieved you've spooked a president. You've grounded a president. I've just seen that even the livestock bill has been withdrawn by Ishumwa just now on thingy. It's been withdrawn. So you're not seeing the things that you guys, the agitation that you are doing because of just irritation. You're annoying, and keep being annoying. But keep doing it in centers of groups, centers of command, and then don't put all your bullshit on TikTok and here. You gotta get ahead of yourselves. Get ahead of the game. Thank you guys for listening to me. I'm still your champion. I'm the silent majority. I'm always listening and I'm cheering for you. Well done, guys. Keep going. Thank you.
That was good. I like that, the idea of 50-50 people. You're laughing.
Go ahead. That doesn't make laughing.
No. I like the idea of the small group. It's almost very guerrilla war-like.
Yes.
And then 50 people, you go to the Nyayo house, and then another 50 people, and then you all eventually will group together, and you all trust each other. So that works. I like that idea. You really have very, very good ideas. So I like
and
that.
then there are no cops. There's no danger.
Exactly. So your idea, 50 people, that is almost like nyumba kumi, like you get your 50 people, leo tunaenda tu na placards to the Nyayo house. Other people might join you. You might, then you text, and then other groups, and then you do like that slowly you can form an organic movement. Because I don't think Ruto will, if we leave Ruto here, Ruto will rig the next election.
Yes, he will.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He will. And he will stay. And then the next 5 years, he will have nothing to lose. So he'll not be going to beg and telling you guys, I'm doing this. He'll be like, it's my last 5 years. Now I'm literally finishing you people.
Yeah, and then even when you go, please create a nuisance. Create a nuisance that's not a crime, but just be totally annoying. So not just placards. Find out what is it. Mtamwaga mchanga, or will you bring something? You just do something.
Yes, that's a very good idea.
Yeah,
So
be disruptive.
let me go to
Wajuru, now that we have you and you're a legal mind, in terms of these Subaru boys and the masked guys, what's your advice about dealing with them in a legally acceptable way, but proper activism from the populace? Because we've had discussions, and it's so annoying to see these videos that people are posting saying so and so has been picked, and you're looking around and saying, yani munaacha tu mtu anaenda. What are your thoughts, and how do people ensure that they protect themselves? Things like, of course, recording helps. The lawyers have have evidence, but making sure that, for example, there was people who were saying stone those guys, and I was like, dude, the guy has a gun. You start stoning the person without first raising an alarm and creating a crowd, he's going to shoot you. And you'll die. And even if you're even 5 or 6, if he has 6 bullets, 6 of you are dead. Even if you kill him, he still has killed 6. So what are some of your thoughts and advice on how to do things, to stop these guys in a legal way?
Shege, you're dealing with somebody who has absolutely no respect for the rule of law or the Constitution. That's my answer to you. Because remember, what they're doing is illegal. So you can go and you can go and get a restraining order, but they won't respect it. There's already a court judgment against the use of tear gas and about respecting the right of assembly and peaceful protest. They don't respect it.
And we saw it today. Tear gas
everywhere. And we saw it today. Hata America walikuja jana wakaenda State House. Wakamwambia boss, si ndio tufanye hivi. Even the media, he's muzzled the media. So Shege, there is no answer for you. There is absolutely no answer for you, because the courts can only, the court process. The courts cannot arrest. Yeah. You see, when the police is the one that has got the powers to arrest. So when you ignore a court order, the execution powers are in the police, but the police are the ones who are arresting you. Are you seeing the catch-22?
Yeah, exactly. The perpetrator is the one who is supposed to arrest himself.
Exactly. It's an organ of state.
So therefore, hence,
you're living in a dictatorship. Mutaendelea, continue being annoying and being tactical
about
the
coffee, eh? Wake up and smell the coffee, guys.
Yeah, Ruto is your president.
And a lot of people voted for him, and I was really, really against. When this guy was elected, I was like, it's over. Because I remember...
culture, kugaslight hapa.
Hakuna kugaslight. Mimi nakumbuka grandmother yangu akipiga kelele. Because she lived through the Moi era. So she was like, what have we done? But I already knew that it was going to be hell. But Odinga would not have been much better, because if you really think about it, the people Odinga would have elected in those positions are now in power. Let's see what they'll do, but there's really nothing watafanya itakuwa ya maana. So when you are Kora, these people hijack. In your Kora too, they have they in civilian clothes, they have guns. There's no law that these guys they are following. So there's no way to handle unless you're really a big group of people.
May I make one comment? There? I'm sorry I don't want to hog the space. I'll mute myself very quickly. let me make a comment about this. You realize that the system that we have came from 1963. Okay, so it just got carried on, carried on, carried on. Even Uhuru was not any better. The only thing that happened is that Ruto alikuja akakanyaga mafuta and took us. So we've been like a frog in a pot that has been hitting pole, 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 pole. So we've not really been feeling the heat as such. Ruto akakuja akaweka kibiriti, we felt hot too quickly. And perhaps it's a blessing in disguise because we needed to be woken up from the slumber we have been in for the last 50 plus, I don't know how many years. Perhaps we needed someone to come and wake us up from this sleep we have been in before it was too late. Because perhaps even if we got Raila, we would have probably been another boiling frog for just a little bit longer, and it would have basically taken us too long. By the time we would have taken another 20 years to keep boiling, it would have been too late. Maybe this is what we needed to get us up. So I'm the kind of person who lives in this world. Everything happens for a reason. And we will never go back where we are again. So let's not gaslight people. Let us say, whatever we chose them because we needed to wake up. And we needed to wake up with your generation that were ready to do what you're ready to do. Because our generation could not do it. We couldn't. So it's you soldiers. It happened now. So guys, this is it. This is it. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you. Fantastic. Culture. Pick the next speaker. Sema. Ati? Pick the next speaker. The next speaker is Shay. But before Shay goes, nilikuwa nataka kusema nini nimesahau. I just wanted to say really quickly, Sub-Saharan Africa, forget about the Arab countries up there on top of the African map. Kuna kitu, there is something wrong with us Africans, black people, because we're the only ones who sell each other out a lot. That's why there's never been a revolution in Sub-Saharan Africa. Revolution hufanyika uko kwingine kwote. But us, it's like I see people happy that today failed. But this system is not favoring you. Mbadi Odinga kujagi kwa nyumba yako. So you are like, why are you happy? Because the next day you'll be protesting about something you're passionate about and you don't want to be beaten by the police. So there's something wrong. Ndio uonagi Sub-Saharan Africa, apart from Senegal, na ndio watu walikuwa were so surprised with Kenya because we seemed to went to parliament. It's like watu wafikiri that would ever happen. And that's why you are seeing so many people ready to sell us out, take money, $500 of to be honest with you, maybe if I was hungry, ningetake you $500 and say, "Ituni," because I'm starving. But deep down, I'm supporting the movement, bana. But you see, these people really, they are government bloggers, but they really believe in what they are doing. Unaweza fikiri government blogger anaweza kupull aside akwambie, hey, you know what? Me, I wanted to eat this money, but manze, you guys do what you're doing. I'm behind you. But these people actually are mocking us. Nandio, sometimes I say, no wonder us Africans were enslaved. It was so easy because it was so easy to give up on each other. Now, me, history, I got so interested in slave trade that I went to Zanzibar. Nani wa Arabu. It's the Arab people who enslaved Africans. But when you go to Zanzibar, there's something I noticed. Nilingia hizo madanjan. You know, before you are taken to sea, you get into those hizo madanjan, alafu ship iko hapo, unaingia, unapelekwa. 2 minutes, I was sweating. How did these people get in here now? I can survive.
How? Because me, I'm sweating, nataka kutoa shati. And then when you go around Zanzibar, there is a lot of, I call it nikama whitewashing. They try to present the Mzungu as a savior, friend of the slaves. This is the Mzungu who rose up and said, this is wrong. I'm like, sasa unataka kuniambia this is also the savior. But badala museme, these people were wrong. So kuna kitu, sub-Saharan Africa, we are so quick to sell each other out. We are so quick to sisi ni wasaliti sana, sisi wa Afrika, because we had an opportunity, and that opportunity was taken by big influencers to intimidate people and do whatever that we gave up. That was a big opportunity that came. Na because I've started like trying to really understand the psyche, because ukiangalia watu wana support government, they're not that comfortable. Some of them will go and want to get an ID, they can't get an ID. Some of these people, their uncle will be killed by a police officer somewhere. He can't get justice. So why are you happy? You live in a it's not like you're rich. You live in a dictatorship. You're going through the same things we are going through, and you're happy. Anyway, let me stop ranting. I will let who's next? I think he's fallen off. Hakuna mtu mwingine.
Hello, unaweza ongea
I'm here.
kiasi?
Yeah, can I?
Go ahead. The mute. Go ahead.
Do you want me to go for like a minute and you guys can proceed? A quick one. I know it's been a lot of challenges in network here, but great submissions. I'll begin. Mine will be like just 3-4 points that can be made in 2 minutes. One, I think I want to borrow from what one person talked about earlier. I think that was Ivy before we were dropped in the first space. She did mention something that I wrote down, that I think it has to come to a time where we have to say that, I think Kenya is closed for innovations. That statement really caught me in a very strong way, that we have to get to a point where we are like, you know what, guys, everybody, you need to know that we are closed. We are going through some renovations. We'll let you know when we are open. Because right now, everything that's going on in the country is really going in a direction that we definitely have to rethink of which way to go. That really brings me to today's, well, to some people it's yesterday, is, Mandamano and how the things went. I'll just make just 2 quick highlights that really caught my attention. When the CNN highlighted the way, the police were really just live on camera shooting at, and I'm sure most of you saw that, so that I don't have to repeat it. When Larry Madogo was like really on the phone with Wolf Blitzer, who is in Tel Aviv right now covering what's going on in the Middle East, and he was hosting a show, and Larry was like, they're shooting at me, they're aiming at me, they're doing this right direct at me. I could hear that noise, and I could see the guys on the other side of the television a little scared. And at some point, Wolf was like, "Larry, are you okay?" And then it's like he got afraid that this guy is gonna be shot right on camera, and then turned around and said, "Okay, we are glad Larry's okay." And then they did a quick reporting, and I'm sure you see that. I think he did post that. That kind of highlight is probably one of the areas of success that I want to bring about in terms of this movement. It's bringing this into the international community in a way that it's being highlighted, but also to the extent that even the you saw that one of the secretaries, they call them under secretary. I have no idea what that means. Did mention that and issue a statement when she went to the State House, and that was prior to the Nane Nane, telling them that about human rights violations, do not use excessive force and stuff like that. That kind of a highlight, it is pressure by itself. Reason is, and I think I've spoken about this probably throughout the day, reason is Ruto has touted himself as one person that is internationally respected, number one. And number two, he has taken pride that he's the one who has put Kenya on the global map. He has actually used those exact phrases when he did the interview with the journalist, after the June 25th. And you could see what kind of pride he's taking, that he's an international figure, somebody who has brought Kenya into the international field. So he feels like he needs to have is a person who is more interested in the global image. And that is one of the pressure points that I want to introduce in terms of strategy. And I was trying to read exactly how can we capitalize on that, utilize it to the advantage of the movement. And I did read a little bit about how can we present a petition to some of the embassies that we have in Kenya, or even you can do it overseas, but I think literally going to the embassies in Kenya, whether it's a US embassy in Kenya, and request formally to make a formal petition or presentation. And I think there's a procedure that they've outlined on how you need to do that. What that means is that it puts pressure on him, because I know many other things that I wanted to highlight. People have talked about them. I don't want to repeat them, but I want to dwell on that issue of putting pressure from the international perspective. That is going to bring to the realization that his nakedness has been exposed. Because the moment the king knows that he's naked, whether it's through the prophets or through the people, because there are only two ways that the king has to be told that he's naked. Either the prophet tells them or the people tell them, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. So if the people say that, wait a minute, now here is your exposure, you are not as covered as you think, and then the pressure starts coming from outside of us. They will see the true soldiers, our brothers and sisters who have died by being shot at. They will see real bodies. They will see real situations. We will have real stories about real people who are buried, real brothers and sisters, not imaginary. And that needs to be really be put very clear, because keep telling him to investigate and address the issue of the perpetrators of this whole movement, those people who have really been shooting at our brothers and sisters. He's not listening. We already know that. He has to hear a voice from outside. So the international community has to be brought into this movement and into this conversation. The second point to that, I think we have to get to a point where, at a point, we have to ask whether it's Meg Whitman or whatever. I mean, she's probably one of the biggest supporters of Ruto, and we have to get to a point of asking the Eurobond, the money you are giving us from IMF, where is that money going? Can't you, by any chance, hold somebody accountable? Because we are getting all these, loans and everything that we are being committed to, but friends, at some point, the IMF and the World Bank has to hold these people into the usage of what we are committing the country to. Otherwise, it will get to a point whereby we will say that we are not paying. We don't know where you took the money. And then we have to highlight the aspects of corruption where the money is being given and taken as loans on behalf of the Kenyan people, and that money is being squandered and being taken by individuals to be used. Those are some of our grievances, and we just want it to be highlighted. What he does with that information, we will see. But we are trying to look at where the pressure is. The third point, and probably the last one that I want to highlight, because I probably had a few others which have already been addressed, like the boycotting, their products, and that I don't labor that point. And then, of course, I'd also had the issue of trying to think of like how KOT and every other friends you can come to have like a mega rally. I'm talking about online, like what we are doing as in an X space. Mobilize some of your close friends who are having this and say, let's take one day to have 1 million people in this X space. Let's have 1 million people in the X space. Ruto is very afraid if something is trending about him and something is online, and they are not going to shoot at you when you are online. So we have to use multifaceted approaches to put pressure on this guy. Yes, we have good ideas of going to the street, and they have tried to master the art and trying to move in that direction. But we have to get to a point whereby we also highlight these things in a very organized way, in a very structured way, but also in a way of putting pressure and putting it on the map that we are not doing well as a nation. And here are 1 million people online talking about what is wrong with the country. It will get to his nerves really bad, because he's one of those people who actually thinks that he's the only one who is digital and all of us are analog. Let me tell you the third pressure point that I think we need to employ. Ruto knows who sanitizes him. It's the religious community, the churches. We need to really take this aspect of putting pressure on the religious groups and the pastors and everybody very serious, to the extent that we have to give an ultimatums to some of our pastors that we have to choose politicians or choose us. So it has to come to be like, it's either we worship through the same altar, in the same altar where we kneel, or you bring the politicians to do it. So we have to make a choice, because if they are not going to be part of this revolution, which I'm a firm believer that revolutions begin from most of the revolutions have actually begun from the pulpit. If they're not going to be part of this revolution and this movement, then it has to get to a point of either taking that brown envelope, or I don't think you're going to go to hell by not going to that church or not going to give tithe and offering in that church. I'm sorry, I have to tell you that. Because it has to come to a time that we have to live for something. We have to do something. It cannot be business as usual. So we have to know, where does Ruto run to when the pressure is too much? He goes to call a few pastors, he calls them, they do a prayer, and then what does he do? Every Sunday or whatever it is, kneels down, raises his hand, sheds a few tears, and you know what happens? Oh, we forgive him, he's a man of God. Because the wife is a very prayerful person. And then we get to a point of saying, oh, they regard his wife is a pastor. Now, we get so entangled and confused about all these things, but we miss the mark about the corruption and the real atrocities that are being meted on our people. I'll land by saying this. We have to start thinking of other strategies that are going to be included in the protest and everything, and they can be in all rounded. They do not have to be, the other one doesn't have to be stopped for this one to continue. But the ones of the international community, I'm telling you, I have seen that in the last few weeks or so, even coming to the Nane Nane, the international community was very concerned about what they have been doing to our people. And now that pressure needs to be completely applied even more, so that we can show how they were beating people who were actually what wako kwa duka yao wanauza, and then these guys come with rungu and they're beating them up to tell them to close. Why? And then we are talking about having a country. So KOT Chege culture, Kenya, let me say this. We have to have practical steps that we are going to take moving forward that are going to help us to really achieve what we are going we really set up to achieve. So God bless you. Thank you so much. It's a very lovely conversation, and I know soon and very soon we are going to achieve what we set our eyes to achieve. God bless. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that contribution. And who's next? Anybody else? Mtu yote anataka kuongea?
Culture,
I think
nezongera dakika mbili.
culture.
Sawa sawa, hataongea dakika tatu.
Haya, sawa.
Culture, can you hear me?
Real Joe, acha nibonge
Hataongea
kiasi
dakika
alafu
nne.
utakamu.
Before ongea, acha maybe
Hataongea dakika nne nitakupatia basi.
maybe I think culture you need to do this. I don't know whether you're seeing, but there are hands that have been up
Endelea.
hapa. Nimeona David alikuwa up, niliona Grace, hata sahii nikawa amedrop. Nimeona
Did she
Kimere.
disappear? What happened to her?
Yeah?
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Talk. Tafadhali.
So is it okay if I go ahead?
Yes, please go
Joki
ahead. I'm waiting
naongea
for you.
kwanza.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm letting you talk. So I'll mute the mic and then I'll give you the mic. Is that okay?
So would it be me or I had someone saying that they were going to talk?
No, it was me telling you go
Okay.
ahead. Endelea.
All right.
Minda mute. Sawa
Yeah.
sawa?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
So I was going to echo the same message or close to the same message yenye the person before me ame echo. Ruto does not care about how Kenyans think or feel about him because he has you all under control, as you can see by today. Yes, we are very vocal tukikuwa online. Mbaka mumuhit where it hurts. And I think I've suggested it before. Hii story ya kwenda kwa embassies, we're not going to go there to ask them for help, but we want the world to put pressure on him too. Because guess what? Uki become their problem, all of a sudden they need to solve the problem. Mkienda hizo embassies, let them come. Venye wana behave wakitia gas, let them come and tear gas. Especially the best one, I would suggest, ni the Russian embassy. Let them come and tear gas you there. Because they're already in bed with the American embassy and other Western countries. But bring the problem to their door. Let the world see you as you are. Let him be seen as the monster he is. Let him be seen by other nations that he does not respect democracy. That is where you will truly find change. Hit him where it hurts. It needs to be non-stop because anytime you take a break, he regroups, he comes even harder. Endeni kwenye anakea about. Anataka kuonesha the world he has everything under control. Show the world ana anything under control. Ata today, let me tell you, that thing about CNN with Larry, trust, I have had friends, people who don't even care, call me to see, did you see what's happening in your country? Let me tell you, that is where the pressure is going to come when the rest of the world is truly sitting there and watching. When you're getting handled, when muki, let's say, even like let journalists, there was also another image, I don't know which journalist it was, where she was on her knees, that has spoken so much volume, you guys don't even understand. And this is what is not being shown by Kenyan media. Endeni uko kwa hizo embassies. Trust and believe. Let them behave like animals the way wana behave. Secondly, if kama mtenda CBD, there's no point of going if you're not going to fight back. Because you've seen the way they're handling you when you show up at CBD. At this point,
It's no longer democracy. It's no longer business as usual. Let us hit them where it hurts. Those police, they want to come and fight for him. You know what? We have no respect. When somebody is putting you on your knees and killing your brothers, your sisters, and we're supposed to still respect you because we respect the rule of law, what law is there? Law yenye wanaweza hata piga, like even lawyers? I don't know if you guys saw the, I think it's Wanjiro Stevens. Wamemchapa, wamemwarrest. So I can only truly imagine what's happening on the ground with you guys. And I know the way, let's say, some people wanaweza kufeel that to feel the pain. Most of us, tunai feel that same pain. Whether is our family members, tunawalipia, wanaenda, wana show up this protest, and you sit awake all day wondering if they're okay. Even us, even though we are not on the ground, we are feeling the pain and hopelessness and almost like, I don't know if it's a survivor guilt, because then, you know what, I can say, I can sit here on my computer behind a screen and be cheering you on and telling you, you guys go do this. But this strategy that is like showing up downtown every time and going to CBD, it's not working right now. Unless you're going to fight back, either we regroup, but no, every time you regroup, either you're coming back 10 times or 30 times stronger because he's coming back stronger. No, note, the CS wamekuwa sworn in. I don't know if you guys are aware, Kindiki really wanted to change even the rules of how people are supposed to gather to protest. I lived during Moi era. This is why I'm not in the country. Trust me, you could not meet more than 5 people because the walls had ears and they were coming to find you. And that is where we are going back. And that's where he learned play by play of how to deal with Kenyans. Kenyans can be sold fear. Because even people who wanted to come out, by the time they saw the roadblocks and they would have had to walk into town, what did they do? They turned around. And Kenya has been ruled by so much fear. There's so much fear with everybody else. Go to those embassies. Let them see you being beat up. Ask for asylum. You become their problem. The moment you, because even them, even Sisi Tukoku, they don't want us here unless we're doing something to help their country. So go there as their problem. Because if you get an asylum anywhere, they have to make sure they educate you. They have to make sure they put you in the workforce so you can start paying taxes like everybody else. So they don't want you as a problem. Make them know what is happening. Wacha wawaone. And I will pass on to the next person.
Joy, I will yield the mic to you. Karibu, Joy.
Hey. Culture anaweza bonga before akuje, the one who's supposed to come.
Karibu.
So,
Ongea.
chenye ningetaka kusema manzi, chenye Wanjiru alisema, it really makes sense about like we have to like strategize tuanze kujipanga in small community. Unaona kama ile guerrilla warfare. Hii tuko war na hiyo ndio kila kitu wasi wanafaa as in I don't know how long it will take for people to like wake up and realize and be woke. Hapa ni vita. Ruto hata achia vitu ziende tu hivyo hivyo. Hakuna vile tutatua president hivyo hivyo. Ati sijui ati tunakuja tuko peace na firimbi. Tumefanya ile impact tulikuwa na need kufanya kama as in sisi wote pamoja, but so it's right now we have to realize we are on another level. Now they are doing everything to fight back. Mpaka you've all seen how they are fighting like journalists and everything. What makes us think that we will come again alafu tu watatuachia tu hivyo ati we take over? It's now war, and that's something that needs to click on everybody's mind. And it's like somehow right now I feel like we are still talking the same way we were talking before this day. This was the big day. Was the day that we were supposed to change everything. haijawaka haiku go through, na mbona tunaongea ni kama bado ni hii siku ijafika? Unajua, so like let's come back to reality, let's wake up. We have to come back and natukuje na plan mpya. Plan has to change. Na nimependa venye Wanjiru amesema like let's start working in small groups. Kila mtu anajua hapa hivi, kwa hata hapa watu wengine wamejoin hizi space, kama mimi nimejoin hii space kwa sababu ya hii story. Sikukuanga kwa Twitter, nimejoin hii story. So kuna venye naweza jua huyu msee na huyu msee huko umekuanga uko na community una follow, kuna venye unajua wase wenye wako for it na watu wako real. Tuanze ku make small communities, tuanze ku communicate, tujipange juu hapa at the end of the day hawa wase the police and these people are still here, they're listening to us, they're listening to every plan. If you have not noticed, pia leo kulikuwa na so many female police walikuwa kwa ground, na ni kwa sababu last time pia tukiongea kwa hizi vitu watu wanasema madem pia wajitokeze, madem wanaweza kwa frontline. These guys are taking the same shit you are talking about and using them on their side. Kila kitu tunaongea wanasikiza, ndio wanatumia against us. So it will be so stupid that we are still making plans here na wanatusikiza na wako hapa katikati yetu. We have to strategize. Lazima we start making groups kidogo kidogo juu tukumbuke hii ni war. Hii ni kama time ya maumau, na tukue back to reality. Tuache kujifanya fanya hapa, not going to the main point. Main point tuko war. Main point tutauliwa. Main point tutahantiwa. Every individual separate. Let's get back to reality. Leo mume wanafanya wanapiga wase mpaka watu wa media ma huko. Yani they don't have chills because wako na masks zinawaficha uso. Alafu wana treat watu wenye wana fight nchi yetu ni kama like bullshit, like ni kama masafaras. And then we are sitting here and talking big. We have to think deep. Let's tuache kudo the talk only. Tuache hiyo manzi. Let's like strategize. We are the modern freedom fighters. Tuko lucky, tuko na hii social media. Acha tuache kukua shallow. We have to get deep. We have to know, mtu anajua kama unakwanga tu hapa kwa hizi group, unajua mtu mgani unaweza follow, tujue ni gani na nani na nini na nini na nini. Na kuna pia channels zenye tunaweza spaces si space, kuna nini channels zingine tunaweza kwa tunaongea na hakuna mtu atatrakiwa na tutakuwa tunajuana na venye tunajuana, lakini we cannot continue also being so deep na giving all information hapa, na mafala wote wanatusikiza au polisi wanachukua everything tunasema against us. Na we have to be, unaona, acha niwaambie kwanza yenye tumepewa blueprint. Unaona movie ya Wakanda, it's a blueprint. Kuna wase wako kwa tech, kuna wase wako kwa lab, kuna wase wako kwa ground mafighter, kuna ma warriors. Wakanda ni East Africa. So lazima tuanze kujieka hivyo kila pahali. Sisi wote ni mafighter. Ikifika ni kufight una fight. Ikifika ni penye huko penye unaweza, kama uyuko Kenya penye unaweza kwa internet ama anywhere, we ni fighter hapo. Kama uko Kenya kwa ground penye unaweza ama wherever you are, we ni fighter hapo. Tuna fight for Kenya. Na sisi tulieka huyu na sisi ndio tunamtoa. Na Kenya ni home. So let's not just talk hapa. Hata kama uko kwa ground na unajua unaweza fanya kitu, let's do it. Manzi. So let's strategize na mafala tuko mbele yao. Wanachukua system zetu kutu nini. Thank you.
Culture, can I speak?
And I'm done, Poleni. Thank you.
I was just clapping for you.
No, Culture wanted to tell us that he has an iPhone. That's it. We know you.
No, I swear,
I'm just kidding,
I
by the
swear,
way.
I
I'm
miss
just
you to
joking.
learn. I'm like, I'm just trying these things out. I'm like, Connie, I can clap. Okay. So no, I'm not trying to show off or anything. Tunakusikia vizuri sana, mami.
I think you said the real joke to go. And then I can see so many hands up. In Culture, at some point, if you like have some actionable points, for example, when Jiro is here, a lawyer of, with knowledge of Kenya and internationally, she can draft for us a petition that we are going to present. We organize a few people and sponsor them to go, and of course we follow the formal channels of going which embassy we're going to present. And we have like even even if it's 200 people, we make a presentation of that formal petition following the right channels, and we make a strong point without being tear gassed. I'm just saying. I mean, like, really action points. That's what I'm saying.
Can I speak? Hello?
Yes, you can speak.
Can I
Go
speak?
ahead.
I'm happy to do that.
Who is
I can
requesting?
draft Wanjiru. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
I'm happy to draft a petition. Okay, I'm happy, and I like who was the one who actually introduced the idea of the embassies. It was it? He's in good
Some little
governance.
boy,
I
some little
followed
boy
him.
from Kayole by the name JM from Kayole.
JM. I followed you. I followed you. Stand for good governance. I followed you. Please inbox me your number. I like your idea. I'm going to draft a petition, and please just inbox me your telephone number, and I will get in touch with you tomorrow. I love that idea very much. Number one. What the other thing I wanted to also say is that we need to have action points before I go to sleep, because it's approaching 3 and I need to be in an arbitration tomorrow morning. I would like to challenge KOT, Shege, the guys in this platform. You made also another point of having mega impact. I need you guys to get together all the influencers, all of you on space, because mnajuana. We need to have one big mega group, and we need to have plan a strategy, a 5-point strategy. Number one, we discussed deplatforming them in church. That is where he sanitized. And I like JM for echoing that, because I also say church is his number one place where he goes. He desecrated our churches. And that is where he also ascended to power. Tumshukishe kutoka kanisa. Every Sunday, across the churches, we deplatform politicians. And it must be gorilla. 50 youth every single Sunday wanaenda kanisa wanavuruga. The same way after we did the first ile inaitwaje finance bill must fall. That man was going to church undercover. Alikuwa anaenda kwa church za mabati. He was hiding for a long time. And nobody was going to church. We must sustain that pressure. So that is the first point. The second pressure point, I love that international community. We will draft those, and then we are going to even have a design for placards with the dead people, gruesome names, everything. The third structure is the group of 50. So the group of 50, and we make sure that it's organic across the country. So we make sure that we create this big space with all the influencers, and we share this strategy with everybody so that everybody can activate it. And then for that big space, JM, you were talking about, I was thinking, if we can reach out to Larry already has a lot of influence, a big space. We reach out to all the people with a big number of influencers. We bring in all the journalists they know. And then after that, we create a massive space and they invite everybody. And in that space, we actually discuss the state of Kenya. Because if it's championed like somebody like Larry and many other journalists, they're able to basically bring in, it's like networking. They bring in all the other journalists to invite all the other journalists. And we have this space that can even hold as many as 5 million people. So what am I saying in short? Step one, KOT, Shege, Kituri, all you guys who are here, Akina Ayo, get hold of all the influencers on space. Let us create one space. We share the 5-point strategy. 1, the platform. 2, pressure points. 3, working in groups of terrorism. When I say terrorism, those annoying groups across the country. Then we also share with them the plan of creating one big super space that JM suggested for everybody in the media. Then we are putting pressure everywhere. That was what I was suggesting, so that we can at least leave this space as what her name was saying. We live with a plan, a to-do plan. Sio tutoke hapa ati tumecomplain, tumepigwa sijui nini. There is a plan, there is a strategy when we're leaving this space. Thank you very much. I yield, and I will draft the petition.
Okay. Yes, I like the group of 50 plan. That's something that we can do. And yeah, and KOT and all these big influencers. Yeah, we need that big group. We all get together. Something I've noticed. Na nastaki cause drama. Like in any time Amerix does a group, Miguna is also like there's that. The Miguna's group is also on when Amerix is doing, and I'm always like, what's going on? Like every time. So we need to have an objective and all meet together. And then the group of 50 is something that worked very effectively with I remember when the American war with Afghanistan, and Afghanistan doesn't have a big army, and they were just doing a guerrilla war, and they really wore down the US Army. And we need to do your 50 people, them, and you go demonstrate somewhere, and 50 people. I think that's a genius move. Sometimes it looks very basic, but it's a very I think a smart move. And KD, I'll let KD speak.
JM, just sorry, can I speak? On any
KD,
culture?
you
Can I
there?
speak? Because my phone is almost going off.
Hello,
Culture, can I speak? My phone is almost dying.
KD is maybe asleep or something.
Culture, can you hear me?
Chimere, you there? Hello.
I think there's the real Joe is trying to get your attention. I don't think you can hear him. The real Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been trying to ask if he can speak before his phone dies. I think his hand has been off forever. Yeah.
Okay, Andele.
Okay.
Hello, you there?
Yes, I'm here. If you can hear me, maybe you can just give me 100 so I know if you can. You guys can hear me.
I can't hear them. Can you hear them?
Yeah, I think you're the one who can't hear him. Maybe, unless you drop him and bring him back because you are the co-host, but we can hear him. You're the one who can't hear him.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's okay.
Okay, so
it's probably like
so basically, maybe what I wanted to say is, unfortunately, my phone is almost going off, but things that I think that we've discussed so much in this space, and this is something I had talked about before. I'm glad some of you have also echoed. I had actually the reason I took the mic is because Cigarette talked about this. Cigarette, not cigarette. Cigarette talked about this. Number one, and this is something that I have blamed it so much on not really to put a blame, but I've in previous spaces I've demanded that.
Okay, is he speaking? Because I've muted the mic. Anaongea?
Yeah, he is. Oh gosh, sorry.
Yes,
Culture, I
anaongea.
think you can't hear him. Anaongea, everybody's.
Anaongea, okay, so it's me. Okay, sawa, wacha ni mute.
Okay, thanks. Nitakwambia akimaliza.
So basically, in previous spaces, I actually demanded some responsibility from the guys who have been hosting the spaces. Why am I saying I demanded responsibility? Because people have been raising various fundamental issues. If you trace back, if you could play back maybe recordings from previous spaces, there are fundamental issues that have been raised by people from the spaces that I felt were not taken seriously. Number one, in a space last week, I talked about logistics, and I asked, what if we are cut off from accessing maybe CBD or accessing State House or wherever we want to go and picket? What is our plan B? We talked about that and discussed how we can try and find a plan B, but that was not actioned. Why? because we come and discuss things in these spaces, and I take these spaces as our citizen assembly. Therefore, the host should act like our speaker and note down critical issues and critical points. And therefore, after the space, I asked and requested that maybe follow-ups can be done privately. Doesn't have to be done maybe publicly again in the spaces. That way, you can find a very serious and critical point that someone raised, and you can find out how to implement this. And that's one of the things that maybe is eating us up in these spaces, because I feel like some points are being raised. Wanjiru has raised some points, Secret raised some critical points, but I don't know whether these things we are going to action them. Having said that, let me continue. We have been doing some groundwork. Some people, we have been talking here on space, but maybe I came to realize last week that people are not taking responsibility, and therefore, me personally, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not in any politics. Actually, me, I'm in tech. I run a startup, and I am based in Westlands. I come from Westlands. Like, I think yesterday we were not yesterday, because already from our Kenyan time we are on Friday. On Wednesday, this Wednesday now, our final baraza, because we always have the barazas in Kamkunji. Our final baraza on Wednesday evening. We had a very good baraza on Wednesday, by the way. And I'm happy that from that baraza, some of the people that we must persuaded, I'm happy they were on the ground today. They were on the ground yesterday picketing. This is very important. And this is something that we've run away from, the community that is always in the spaces. The community that is always in the spaces have never taken it upon themselves. It is only Casmuel, even the other Wednesday, Wednesday imepita, niliona Casmuel and the other guy from law school who was abducted. But I feel like, and Wanjiru has even talked about this, when we have that personal touch and start taking this citizen baraza seriously, that is one thing that we really need to employ. Because from this citizen baraza, people interact on personal levels. By the way, this baraza kama hiyo ya Jivanji, if you follow up vizuri, utapata kuna petitions zingine tuliraisingi, and they have been taken seriously mpaka zimeenda East African Court of Justice. Do you know that there's a case against Kenya on East African Court of Justice raised by this from Jivanji, ikachukuliwa, ikakuwa picked, ikapelekwa mpaka East African Court of Justice because of the maandamano yenye tulikuwa nao last year. Unajua sisi tuliandamana last year because sisi tulikuwa tulikuwa tunafuata baba. Tuliandamana last year, people were killed. Those people were killed. There is a petition because this petition was tried to jaribu kusukuma hapa Kenya, it was not pushed well. From Jivanji ilipelekwa mpaka the East African Court of Justice, and now there's an active case against Kenya. That is very serious. That I would prefer. I'll get a copy of that and try and share with a few people who maybe you might be interested. But what am I trying to arrive at? I'm trying to arrive at more than one strategy. We need to deploy more than one strategy. If we are on X spaces, we are on X spaces. We also have other strategies. Are we also notable in other places? Are we always having a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C? Because today, what happened to us, we were cut off. Not today, but yesterday, we were cut off on logistics, and only those people. At some point, only people who had private vehicles could maybe maneuver and somehow maybe try to ferry. But how many people can you ferry on a private vehicle? You cannot ferry so many people. So you were cut off on logistics, even though there were so many people who wanted to participate. And therefore, we need to be strategizing more on this. And the war that we need to also deploy right now is propaganda, as Secret had mentioned. But we need to do it much better. You guys remember the election of 2017. If you guys can recall, there was a company called Cambridge Analytica really played a huge role in ensuring that, and you can remember they themselves said that they made the name of Raila dirty and pointed him in a certain way. That's the information war we need to fight right now. We need to there's new technology.
Oh, I think check it. Do we lose the real Joe? No.
I think he Real Joe umejimute.
nilikuwa nimejimute.
Come on.
Okay.
So nilikuwa nasema Cambridge Analytica really played a huge role in 2017. We can deploy the same mechanisms ourselves. We can come up with propaganda videos and these things. Once imefikia ule mtu wa chini, unaona kama Siglet was giving an example, Kisumu. Me actually, I don't know why I'm muting. The host is muting everybody.
No, it's just muting you, my brother.
No,
Just
it
muting you.
also happened to me. I have to say, like, also
I did.
I was
I
lost.
did.
I also went off. I don't know how that worked. Na ikarudi tena baadaye. So I think
So
something.
sorry about that. Maybe it's the network issues. But Chege, allow me to say something. I was thinking that the 3 points as maybe David comes in. I was looking at like we have like maybe a solid, action point call about the petition to the, the emphasis on the international community, and which Wanjiro can take the lead on that. We have the issue of the 5 million Mega X rally, which KOT, Chege, and Culture can take the lead on that. And then we have the issue of the organizing in groups of 50s, which I think, Culture Kenya Media took very keen interest in that, can take the lead. At least we start the pressure on the churches. I can take the lead on that. I've been a pastor for at least 30 years, so I can tell you, I know where that hurts most. I was thinking that we, like, at the end of the day today, Shege, before you leave, at least assign some roles to somebody. The next time we are meeting on the same a platform, we are talking about practical things. Where are we with this? We are moving forward. The thing that I will throw back to you, especially Chege and Culture Kenya Media, is what the real Joe and Secret had talked about, the issue of using propaganda.